Plus, with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-566-1649. That's 800-566-1649.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Caniacs, raise up. It's time to get loud. The Carolina Hurricanes are in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Join Lenovo in cheering on our hometown team. Let's light the lamp and bring the Stanley Cup to the Lenovo Center.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com. WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
Sharp bounce off the boards and a fight for it with Barkov. It comes out to Rodriguez. He gets it to Ekblad and Martinook with a sliding block to knock it to the board.
What a block from 48.
Alexander Barkov trying to turn. Slavin takes him down to the ice neatly. Schmidt will keep it in across for Bolinski's. His shot through traffic. Rebound was available as it was off the catching glove of Anderson.
What a play by Slavin. Saved a goal after being physical on Barkov.
Yup. Oh, man, I'm fired up. Game 5 is tonight. Hi, everyone. Wow. Where'd that energy come from? I'm Adam Gold. This is the Adam Gold Show.
Did you have a Celsius?
I didn't.
Oh.
Not yet. I will later.
I was going to say, that's usually where mine comes from.
Yeah, right? My wife came home from the store. Aileen came home from the store the other day with a 12-pack of it.
Yes. Yes.
And I think there's one in my car, and I think she has another one.
Oh, perfect.
See, it's a problem. It's a problem.
Well, hey, at least you're doing it together.
It's good. It is true. It is true. Yeah, but they're I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure if it's something we should do, but whatever.
Oh, trust me, Harris Teeter got me with their 5 for $10 or something.
Absolutely.
So I got to try all different flavors.
Oh man, the cherry Coke. The cherry cola is the best.
I've not tried that one
yet. The cherry cola is the best. Mm-hmm. I do like the mixed berry. You do
berries are good.
The watermelon lemonade is good.
Watermelon's good. There's a blueberry lemonade I have that's waiting for me.
Isn't that fizz free?
I have no idea. It's got caffeine.
Does it? Yeah, I don't like the fizz free. I don't do the fizz free.
I don't know if I really noticed the difference.
I need fizz in my life.
But it helps.
We have Game 5 tonight.
Yes.
So before we get into everything else, Chad LaRose is going to join us in less than 10 minutes now. I talked to Tim Gleason today. It's really for the pregame show, but maybe we'll toss it in later because it's not that long. It's about 3.5 minutes. But I wanted to talk to him about Alexander Nikishin. And look, we have a great, great fan base. Awesome fan base. We have sold out Lenovo Center for I don't know how many consecutive games. I'm assuming it will be a sellout tonight, even though Game 5 was always kind of, especially after losing Games 1 and 2, Game 5 was always, we don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So, but I'm pretty sure tonight will also be a sellout, and it will be a great environment. And we have incredibly passionate fans that support this team. No complaints about it. But I do find it hysterical at just how many people insist that they know better than the people who are paid
to know
decent sums of money to know.
Mm-hmm.
And to put this team in the best position to win. Like, I can't tell you how many people know that Alexander Nikishin should have always been playing ahead of Shane Gostisbehere. Always. Mm-hmm. Always. And so finally, I responded to somebody like, that is preposterous. Not to mention the thought process that the head coach is purposely putting an inferior lineup onto the ice because I can't come up with a reason. Anyway.
He's got a bet on the Panthers.
Maybe.
He doesn't.
Speaking of which, tonight, in probably for the only time in the last 4 years, the Hurricanes are plus money at home tonight.
Yeah. That's unlike them.
Plus money at home tonight. In general, they have been not in this series. They were road favorites in both of the games in Washington, which cost me some money, which is fine. Well, I keep telling you, I'm donating.
You bought a win.
I am happy to do that. But they are almost always favorites anyway.
Yeah.
But they are home plus money tonight.
Were they plus 120 last game, I think, on the road?
They were.
That was like the first time I think I had noticed.
They were plus 120 there, plus 105.
Yeah.
I think tonight at home. Florida is 7-2 on the road in the playoffs. And they're awesome.
Yeah.
I want to get to a couple of things before we bring in Chad. So but before we start, lest you think, well, it's not going to happen tonight. Carolina got game 5, but the road ends here. Charles Barkley. They were doing the game on TNT, the Knicks and the Pacers last night. Charles Barkley says, "Don't worry."
There you go.
Oh, man.
Hey, keep in mind, Chuck, we have a second half to get to. So
I'll tell you something. Let me tell you something. Shout out to the Hurricanes coming back last night after being down 3-0. Now we're going back to Carolina. And let me tell you something. They're going back to Sunrise because the Hurricanes are going to win tomorrow, Wednesday night.
Who's leading the series?
We're going back to Sunrise 3-2.
Okay.
All right.
Chuck's a huge hockey fan.
He is. He's
right?
so cute when he talks about it, too.
We need Chuck here for Game 7.
That would be fun.
To wind the siren. That's what we need.
Yes.
We need it.
He would not get booed.
Hell no.
No,
man. Chuck is America's
Just don't wear
analyst. He's America. Don't wear light blue.
Yeah.
He's America's analyst. All right. So before we get back to hockey, and Chad LaRose will join us in 4 minutes. Let's start. Oh man, Charles is the best. All right. So a couple of college football things just to get out there before we get back and talk about the Canes in Game 5 tonight. So Ross Dellinger did a Q&A with Scott Strickland, who is the athletic director at the University of Florida. And Strickland is anti-committee to choose the college football playoff field. He's anti-committee. And he says, a committee is not ideal to choose a postseason. I question whether it's appropriate for college football. Meanwhile, look, I know we've had our differences with the basketball committee, but by and large, do a pretty good job of coming up with the 68 teams. By and large, not always. There's always a controversy here and there, but 68 teams, we pretty much get the first, 40 right. Strickland says football is different than other sports because in other sports there's more data and games for a committee to consider. It's not the case with football. And this is just my brain, which, granted, sometimes, misfires. I would think that more data would be perfect for, a computer formula. Less data means that we need humans to determine what's really important and what isn't, even if they have differing opinions. More data, like let's just throw all the data into a Lenovo laptop and spit out 68 teams or spit out 12 teams if there were more data. But less data, I need humans. And I'm baffled that we don't have people going, isn't that fundamentally dumb? You are running a major athletic department. That doesn't make any sense. Because honestly, the more data you have, the less you need a committee. The less data you have, the more you might need a committee. And this goes back to my long-standing argument against when they dumbed down the BCS. And they only dumbed it down because coaches were mad that the computers didn't agree with how good they thought their team or their league was. We took data out of the system and kept using computers, which didn't make any sense. Well, we had an emphasis on the polls. They liked that. We need we can't have more data. There's only 13 games to be played. Some teams don't even play 13. Some teams play 12. You can't have enough data there, so you need a committee. Now, if you're unhappy with the committee, that's another story altogether, but I still don't understand why the SEC would be unhappy with the committee. And now it brings me to this, because this happened yesterday at their meetings in Destin, Florida. Greg Sankey came out and said, you know what, we're really considering 5 conference champions plus 11 at large. And I'm thinking, well, why did it take you so long to get to the sensical thing? We've been sitting here for months, and it's more than 12, talking about how we want 4 guarantees, and they get 4 guarantees, and you each get, like, why would the SEC want any guarantees beyond a conference champion when it benefits them for there to be no guaranteed spots beyond conference champions? Because, like, I honestly believe that all things being equal, the SEC could, in many years, get more than 4 teams. They could get 6 teams. I can't envision a scenario, especially in a 16-team field, where they got less than 4, ever. So, they're finally getting back to this. And that's really where they should be. We want to reward conference champions, great. But let's get the next 11 best teams in there. Can we do that? All right. No better person to discuss and get hype for Game 5 with than Chad LaRose, number 59, in your scorebook. I have no idea if anybody has a scorebook anymore. All right, Chad, talk to me about your level of optimism for tonight.
Oh, man. How are you guys doing? I agree with the 11 conference next best play team, too.
Good. I'm glad. You live in Big Ten country, though, right?
Yeah, no kidding, right? That's all we are up here. Yeah, about tonight, I think, 6-0 when we score first. I think if you come out of the gates and Carolina, gets to their game early and gets that first goal, I think that takes away from the bully ball that Florida tries to play when they got the lead, So I think that's super important. And, yeah, man, I don't see why, play that same way, and I don't see why we can't drag it back to Florida.
I agree with you. And, yeah, getting the first goal, I don't know why it's as important as it is, but for Carolina in the playoffs, it has. When they have gotten it, they have won games. But what my curiosity is, they've in the first 2 rounds, they still didn't get the first goal all that often, and they ended up winning 8 of 10 games from the Devils and Washington. It does speak to the level, to the gap maybe between those 2 teams and where Florida is. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, I think, not only that, Florida's a different team because when they get the lead, they can play. If they feel like they can punch you in the head and slash you and cross-check you and talk dirty and be dirty on you and play dirty on you and all those things, they can do that when they have the lead because it's okay. If they take a penalty or something, when it's tied 0-0 or they're down by a goal, they're less to do those things because they don't want to go down 2 goals. So if you get on them early, other than that, if you get down early, they're going to start getting jawy and really starting to take it to guys like we saw.
Yeah, they are very, very willing to do that. Did you notice early in Game 4 that Carolina seemed to be the first to initiate the post-whistle scrums? There was, I think, Orloff and Tkachuk.
Yep.
And I guess if you do it first, you're unlikely to be whistled for a penalty.
Yeah, and I did notice that. You could tell. And, yeah, that's what you want. You want to show that I don't care who you are. I'm not backing down from anything, or you come at us, I'm coming right back at you. But to initiate, it's a big thing for them, I think. And, yeah, I don't know. When they had that kind of, take a punch and punch you back in the mouth, take a punch, give a punch type of thing, just being, saying that type of hockey game, then they showed who they are. I don't think that the first 3 games, I don't think Florida's that much superior to Carolina. I think they just played to a level where they gave them some stuff, giving them fits on how they play, and not, we have some younger guys, and they're going to punch you in the mouth, and then once they get up, they're going to start going after everybody.
Chad LaRose is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. You've been in situations where it was a do or die. You got to win or your season's over. Does it feel differently? Do those games feel any different than any other playoff game to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the coach, like as a coach, I had coaches who were just like, I mean, what do you got to lose?
Right.
Right? Like, I mean, there's no tomorrow. You're playing hopefully 4 straight game 7s. And so on the other end of it, the other team might be getting a little lax or something like that, and that's when they pounce, and as long as they play their game. But for feeling-wise, you're just hoping that it's, everybody's buying into what we got to do. Otherwise, you don't want guys selling the farm early or anything like that, or thinking that it's over and getting a bad bounce. And if Florida does score first, like, you're hoping that there's fight left, because sometimes you'll see teams, and I don't think Carolina's like this, but you'll see teams when they're down and their game's out and they're 3 games back and they get scored on first, you'll see some heads start dangling, and I don't think that'll happen tonight. But so I think you play it the same way, and then sometimes emotions change during that game of an elimination game. But for the start, I mean, and stuff like that in preparation, you're going through the exact same thing.
Well, so take me inside the room, whether it's Game 6 here against the Devils in 2009 or up there, whatever it is. When you look around the room, what's the prevailing? What's the motivation? Is it to win a game, or is it like, I want to be with these guys more? Like, because if you lose, it's over and everybody scatters.
Yeah, and I think that so the feeling for me and those guys, I believe, would be more or less like, I went to war all year with you. I've had your back all year. You've had my back all year. We've been a fantastic team all season long. There's no way that I'm going to let somebody take what I want to get to, my achievement, right?
Right.
And that the further, exactly that too. Like, these are my guys. Like, I want to play more. I want to be around you guys more. And I think, I think Carolina going down 3-0, everybody was like, this isn't us. This isn't what we worked all year for, type of thing. And I think that's part of it, like everything you said, and being able to say, you know what, you're 3 wins away from going to a Stanley Cup final. I mean, there's no extra motivation you really need, as opposed to letting a team, like, the motivation of, I'm going to let these guys walk to the Stanley Cup Finals. I don't think so.
Chad LaRose is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. What have you seen from Logan Stankoven in this series, in these playoffs?
Man, he's a guy who kind of does everything well, right? Like, he's not flashy with how he skates and stuff, but he really gets the job done. His nose is for the puck. He seems like he's on the inside during those scrums and stuff. He's on the inside of the battle. I like his game a lot. He's strong on pucks. He makes really nice, quick little plays out of the corner. I've liked him. I thought it was a huge pickup as opposed to losing somebody for nothing.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a Carolina Hurricane. I think he plays that style, a Hurricane type of style. I'm guessing Rod probably loves him. So, yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like, and I love everything about his game, the only thing I don't like is that every question about Logan and almost every answer also includes some reference to the fact that he's 5'8". Everything. For a little guy, it's like...
Yeah, everything, yeah. That's funny,
There are a lot of
little stature, but he plays like he's 6'1", so that's all you really got to worry about.
Could we get lifts? Are there high heel skates
that
he could, like Prince? Prince was a little guy, but he wore high heels on stage and he looked taller.
It's been 10 years for me. I'm guessing they probably came up with something, but I can tell you when I was playing, they did not, because I was looking for all those things.
Chad LaRose is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Do you yell at your television, shoot the puck, like fans and like some of us do?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. And then for me, it was like I'm looking like shoot the buck. And then sometimes they'll make a really nice play, and I'm like, oh, well, I mean, I wouldn't have pulled that off, but I would be shooting the buck. So, yeah, I think a lot of times I watch NHL games, and they go for the quality rather than quantity sometimes. And
right.
I'm more of a let's make them make a save and see what happens from there type of thing.
There was a play in the game that I thought was a great example of why there's no such thing as a bad shot on goal. Andre comes down the right side, and he puts a backhand shot from a very tough angle, sharp angle. And the chances of that beating Sergei Bobrovsky probably aren't very good. But he has to make a save, and he puts it back out into the middle. And then Carolina gets 2 chances off of that. Isn't that an example of why you shoot the puck?
Well, of course, right? Because I tell kids that I coach now, I mean, when you put the puck in the net, not only does he have to make a save. So here's the worst thing, right? He makes a save, and there's a rebound. Now, also, their whole entire defending team has to stare at the puck and see where that rebound goes. So now they're collapsing. The worst-case scenario, you shoot it, and the guys say, oh, he covered it, or you shot it into his glove, or you shot it into his chest. Now what? There's a face-off in the offensive zone 200 feet from my own net. So why would we not be putting stuff there? I tell these kids, because the only thing you don't want is you don't want to break them out and miss the net. But
right.
Other than that, it's never really a bad play, right? I think that's why Carolina shoots pucks so much. Then you get the other teams collapsing, staring at the puck, rebounds come, and that's how you get chances. And then if he does cover up your shot and it's a weak shot, great. Face-off's 200 feet from my net.
Yeah, it is simple stuff. The simple stuff works. All right, before I let you go, Chad LaRose, as we get ready for Game 5, the mentality of thinking that you have to play a perfect game, that can't be you can't have to go into a game thinking we must be perfect tonight to win. So what is the mentality going into this game?
I think you just get to your game early. Like, you got to tell yourself and you know how good your team is, and you guys have done it all year. What are we going to panic for? There's nothing to panic for. If they score first, it's okay. It's one shot away, right? We've proven we can score. And then from there on out, I mean, you do not have to play a perfect game. You play the Carolina Hurricane way, and you get to it early. You use the crowd. You use the crowd early in this game. I'll guarantee Florida's over there saying, we got to weather the storm early. Well, hopefully they don't weather it too well. And I think that's what it's got to be right out of the gates. And then you make those adjustments throughout the game. I mean, that's what all of those great coaches do. And then you go from there. So I think that's the game plan. And I think they come out and get to their game early. Nothing has to be perfect. Hockey's not perfect. And you create some bounces for yourself.
Will you take a scoreless first period?
Yeah. Yeah, I will. I don't think it will. I think Carolina will score. I really do tonight. But, yeah, I would take a scoreless period too, right? I mean, like I told you before on the radio when this playoffs first started, I said, what wins Stanley Cups? Goaltending and rats. And so I think it's going to be some greasy stuff tonight and some bounces and I don't think anything's going to be super pretty, but, I mean, I'll take another Stankoven goal like that. That was pretty, but, yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I'll be rooting my ass off for those boys.
Excellent. All right, final thing. I already said final thing before. The Stankoven goal was a product of an Alexander Nikishin, a couple of good Alexander Nikishin plays. What have you liked about the 23-year-old rookie?
Oh, I like him a lot. I think he brings that offensive mindset, and he's very aware on the puck, and he's pretty solid defensively too. He's got a good stick. And I've liked him a lot, especially coming into this.
Yeah.
Like his first games have been in the playoffs. I think that's a real bright spot for the future of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Chad LaRose, I appreciate your time, my friend. We'll talk again maybe in front of Game 7.
My man. All right. Thanks, Adam. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Chad LaRose here on the Adam Gold Show. Quick break. I want to get into you know what we're going to do? Holy cow, totally forgot. I'm glad I reminded myself in my own brain. You know what starts on Friday?
Ooh, I don't know. Friday's a couple days away. It's probably like golf
No, it's
or
not.
soccer.
It's not.
Oh,
It's
no.
the college baseball tournament.
Oh, look at
So,
that.
and we've got a whole bunch of local teams that are involved. Look, ECU won the American probably just to get in.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of stuff to do. Aaron Fitt's going to join us in just a few minutes. We'll give you a primer. Carolina's hosting State, Duke, ECU, all on the road. Wake's on the road too, I believe. I think they're in Tennessee. So we'll talk to Aaron Fitt, D1Baseball.com, get you ready for the college baseball tournament, which starts at the end of the week when we are all getting ready for Game 6 in Florida on Friday, because Friday's Game 6.
Yeah, it is.
Friday's Game 6, and then Sunday would be Game 7.
Right. And Charles
You feel good?
Barkley's going to get here and ring the siren.
Do you feel good about tonight?
Maybe a little better about tonight than I would going back.
I'm not worried about Game 6 yet.
Right.
We only have to win
But
Game
thinking
5. That's
too
the
far
best
ahead. Yeah. I'll have my Cheez-Its, so.
I thought we decided that the Cheez-Its didn't work.
No, it's timely. It's fine. Everything's fine.
I thought we decided we were going to get a different snack.
Maybe I'll get pretzels,
cracker.
too, this time.
Right. I actually heard a very good story about a superstition.
Oh.
Yeah, that I'm going to I have to send the audio because it's great.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, and it's a friend of ours, too. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Aaron Fitt, D1Baseball.com next.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
September 1st versus TCU. That is UNC football's opening game. How many switches, how many twists in the Bill Belichick story are we going to get in the next 100-some-odd days before the opener? Unlimited. It is insane, and UNC has to find a way to cut out the distractions and focus on football.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom, and that's what we offer at Loan Pronto using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Westwood One Sports presents this special tennis update sponsored by Prevagen. Prevagen, made for your brain. Second round matches are in full swing on day 4 in tennis. Seeking her fourth French Open title, defending Swiatek had no trouble ousting Emma Raducanu on court Philippe Chatrier in straight sets, 6-1, 6-2. Coming up, world number 1 top-seeded Arina Sabalenka plays Jill Teichmann of Switzerland. American 16-seeded Amanda Anisimova and unseeded Bernarda Pera both advanced. 4th-seeded Jasmine Paolini and 13th-seeded Elina Svitolina both won in straight sets. On the men's side, it took 4 sets for defending champ Carlos Alcaraz to beat unseeded Hungarian Fabian Marozsian 6-1, 4-6, 6-1, 6-2. An upset on the men's side on day 4, 7th-seeded Casper Ruud was knocked out in 4 sets by Nuno Borges of Portugal. With this tennis update, I'm Erica Herskowitz, Westwood One Sports.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number 1, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription, and I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, That really works so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
One Adam Gold. One Adam Gold.
If Andrei Svechnikov watched Eric Cole highlight tapes and cause chaos.
Hey, hashtag, you didn't even mean to do that, did you?
I didn't. Well, that's the old one.
I know, but
right?
It's still relevant.
Now we're raising up. Maybe we should go back to cause chaos.
I know, we need to go back to causing chaos.
It's interesting. I did kind of subconsciously bring that out.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. We have Game 5 tonight. That's our focus. We're dialed in. We are laser attentive to Game 5 tonight at Lenovo Center. But it's not the only thing going on that has interest to us here in the Triangle. And that is where we borrow the brain and expertise of Aaron Fitt, managing editor, D1Baseball.com. Actually, I don't even know if that's his title, but if it isn't, it should be. And he joins us on the Adam Gold Show because the college baseball tournament is about to begin. Sir, thank you very much, as always, for helping me play major catch-up as we get towards the business end of this season. How you doing?
You know, don't sell yourself short, my friend. I know you've been watching every game with laser-like attention here. Hockey's on the back burner. I get it.
Yeah, I know you, of course. I thought we were going to get don't sell yourself short. You're a tremendous slouch. I really thought we were going to get that, and I would have been okay with it. All right, let's get to Carolina's the only if I'm not mistaken, the only ACC team in the top 8. So there, if everything holds. If all the seeds hold, Carolina would host a super regional. The others would not, correct?
You are correct, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so let's start with the Tar Heels, as they are going to host. They're going to play Holy Cross. Oklahoma and Nebraska are the other two teams in their sides. Oklahoma, obviously, from the SEC. What do you like Carolina's chances to advance?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, right now, they're actually number one in our top 25, which hadn't happened before, and remarkably. But they're, our ranking started in 2015, and it's the first time. So they're playing great right now. They're really several people on our staff picked them to win it all. And I think that's a pretty good pick because their offense has really come together. That was maybe something that we were wondering about for a lot of the year. It's not as explosive as last year, certainly, but there's a lot of experience there and a lot of continuity. If you look at the guys that they've played, it's really at 8 of the spots have been the same guys almost every game, which is cool. So it's just they know what they're going to get. Those pieces fit well together, and the pitching is just formidable. It's one of the best pitching staffs in the country. So I think they got a pretty good draw here. I mean, it helps that the other kind of the biggest threat in this regional is Kyson Witherspoon for Oklahoma, who's probably a top 5 overall pick in the draft coming up, an immense talent. But I assume the Sooners are going to have to throw him against Nebraska in that first game, so Carolina will miss him. So I think it sets up pretty well for the Tar Heels.
I like the way you phrase that. Is Holy Cross in any way a bother?
The pride of Worcester County, many people are calling them. They're a good club. And the last time I think they were in a regional, they went up to Corvallis when Oregon State was number 1 overall seed, and they gave them a good little run. So hard-nosed, Northern Baseball Club, not a ton of power there, but they can grind out some at-bats and work counts and cause some havoc with their speed, and got a couple of low-slot jokers on the mound that Danny Macurola and Jaden Waiwoda, who I think give you a different look and could maybe give Carolina a little bit of trouble. So yeah, you can't sleep on them. I mean, remember last year Long Island gave Carolina all they could handle, and it took a walk-off grand slam from Gavin Gallagher, I think, to beat them. So you can't look past the 4 seed. Certainly.
Yeah, and Holy Cross, just as an overall athletic department, is one of those Patriot League teams that really takes sports super seriously, to the point where I'm not sure that they don't give themselves some Patriot League advantages, but that is a formidable opponent. All right, let me get to State, who's playing in the Auburn Regional. Do you like this as a spot? Stetson is first, Jacob deGrom University. So talk to me about the regional as a whole, and what do you like about the Wolfpack?
I like the Wolfpack on the mound quite a bit, especially in the bullpen with Jacob Duden and Anderson Nance. I just think that when I'm looking for teams that can make a real run in the postseason, I always start with that. You have a reliable bullpen. I just think that's huge in the postseason.
Yep.
Are you strong defensively up the middle? And I think they are, with Justin Patricio at second base and Ty Head in center. And, Sosa behind the plate has grown into it. And I think they're just a good balanced team. It's like Carolina. They're not as explosive offensively as they were last year. I feel like the pitching remains kind of the biggest strength there. Going to an offensive yard, and Auburn is an offensive club. So it'll be a little bit of a contrast in styles there, I think. But State's pitching, I think, gives them a chance to beat anybody. And even again, they lost in the ACC tournament. I thought they played a good ball game, and
right.
Like UNC, I think their position player group has grown over the course of the season, and it's very solid. It's just not as intimidating as it has been in the past. But that Stetson team is good that they're going to face in the opener. Gonzalez, their ace, really good veteran lefty, tons of experience, neat changeup. Wolfpack will be ready for that. But you gotta be careful with that guy because he can beat anybody.
Aaron Fitt, D1Baseball.com, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. If positive vibes and positive memories matters, Duke does not hate their placement in the Athens Regional. I'm just going by memory here, but didn't Duke win that regional a few years ago?
Yeah, I think it was 2018, if I'm not mistaken there. They did go down and win a regional down there. And again, it's just an offensive yard. You're going to hear that a lot. There's a lot of offensive yards in the SEC. But Duke is a home run hitting team. They're, I think, 14th in the country. They might lead the ACC in home runs, but they're way up there. Georgia leads the country in home runs. And so you're going to see some fireworks. Oklahoma State, also a power hitting team.
Yeah.
That's who Duke draws in the first game. And so I think you're going to see, some fireworks, some high scoring games. But I'll tell you, Duke, besides their power, I think the strength of this team is left-handed pitching, and it's a lot of good left-handed pitching that they can run at you. And so, they can really match up with you on the mound. And it's not a team that has these horses that give you a lot of length in the rotation, but they can piece it together. And James Talon right now at the back end looks really, really good, as well as he ever has. And I think that's a difference maker and a separator for him.
You mentioned Duke plays Oklahoma State to start. Do the Cowboys have anything like Pete Incaviglia?
This is, I'll tell you, Nolan Schubert, Colin Brueggemann, these are big boys. Now they're not inky,
Okay.
maybe not as wide as inky, but they're big boys who have grown man strength. I'll tell you that. A lot of power in those two guys.
What did that dude hit it like in a college season? Did he have 44 home runs one year?
Yeah, it was 44, 47. It was way up there. I want to say 47 is the number that sticks out in my mind, but different era with those bats and all the games that they played. But he was one of the all-time great college hitters.
It's still an insane number. Let me get to the Pirates. ECU, I saw online a video. First of all, they had to win the American just to get in, correct?
Yeah, that's right. They were 10 games out of first place in the regular season. They finished like fifth place. It really not an East Carolina type season, and yet you look up and here they are. They're in a regional again.
Yeah, and they liked where they're going. Close to home, going down to Conway, but they have to play Florida in the 3-2 game. Does East Carolina have one of those sneaky puncher's chances, or is this hey, we made the tournament?
I mean, it's a program that has so much pride, Adam, that I'm never going to count them out. And the fact that they showed that last week, I mean, after a disappointing year, they rally and they find a way to get there. It's not one of their best teams, but they do have some exciting young talent that's starting to mature, and Braden Burris, their walk-on freshman second baseman, has been red hot. He was the most outstanding player in the conference tournament last week. He's getting a real spark. Dixon Williams, just a really good, well-rounded player who kind of makes them go. One of the best players certainly in that league, and and Ethan Norby is really a key for them on the mound. He's kind of been their ace this year. When he's at his best, he can shut anybody down. I mean, he struck out 19 guys over 7 1/3 against Coastal Carolina earlier this year, and Coastal, as you might recall, is hosting this regional, so that kind of sticks out to me. But just a lefty with really good field of pitch and an elite kind of sweeper. But with him and Ethan Young, Brad Pruitt, Jake Hunter, you kind of got 4 guys, maybe 5 with Sean Jenkins, that right now it feels like are pitching pretty well at the right time. So it's maybe not as good a staff as we've seen before from East Carolina. It certainly isn't. But you got a group of 5 that can really give you a chance, and they're going to throw the kitchen sink at you. Again, mix and match as they need to do. They're not going to be overly reliant on roles, and they're just going to fight you to the bone here.
All right, final thing. ACC teams that you like, or who do you like in this field overall? But is there another ACC team you think could get to the College World Series?
Wake Forest, you got to keep an eye on. It's a tough draw.
Probably should have
Certainly
mentioned that.
Knoxville. Yeah, I mean it's another 2 seed in a regional. I mean, I think they're built for Knoxville because again, that's a big time Homer Dome, and they have a lot of power. That's kind of how they're built. It's just a matter of which pitching staff will show up. Will they play good enough defense? I mean, it's kind of a frustrating team because they're so talented, but it's just been very up and down, and sometimes there's been issues with strikes and defense. And so if they play well, they can certainly get to Omaha and cause trouble because they're talented. But that's one to keep an eye on. I mean, maybe Louisville, they're going to Vanderbilt, number 1 overall seed. Again, it's a very offensive team with a lot of speed and power. It's a dynamic offensive team. Will they pitch enough in the postseason to make a deep run? I don't know, maybe. But that's kind of been their issue all year. And so it's a lot of that. I feel like going around the league, there's a lot of teams that do one thing well and not another thing as well. It is not necessarily, I guess Carolina has become the most balanced, certainly the most balanced team and the best team in the league. And again, that's a team that is a leading title contender, but even they got a tough draw, I think, potentially in the Super Regional with Oregon, which is a team I just really, really like. I mean, they've been in back-to-back Supers, an extremely old physical team, more powerful than Tar Heels. It's not going to be a cakewalk for Carolina to get to Omaha.
Aaron Fitt, D1Baseball.com. My man, I appreciate your time as we give info out to the people who really need it. I, of course, I'm laser focused, so we've already established that. I appreciate your time as always.
All right, Adam, take care.
All right, man. By the way, where are you headed?
I'm going to Conway. A fun one down there. Florida's a 2 seed too. I mean, it's a neat regional down there.
You're going to Myrtle Beach. Go figure.
Yeah.
They have good golf courses down there, Aaron, I've heard.
We might need to get to a Monday game so I can squeeze in around. Otherwise, I don't think I'm going to have time to play. But, hey, listen, you never know.
Good luck. All right, man. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Aaron Fitt, D1Baseball.com. All right, when we get back, we got one-timers. I don't know if you heard, Game 5 is tonight. I'm excited. Next.
From the heels
Touchdown, Carolina.
to the canes.
She scores!
He covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. We are down to the Final Four in pro basketball, and that means all of the show-stopping action turning up just a little bit more. Don't miss your chance to bet on all the legendary moments with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, best place for player props, and now even performance trends, all within the best app in the business. Plus new customers, $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. Join today. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Have you ever heard of paramedics who don't just respond to emergencies, but work to prevent them? The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. Cape Fear Valley Health's Community Paramedic Program is a groundbreaking initiative where paramedics aren't just transporting patients, they're building bridges to better care, right from the patient's living room. Here's Cape Fear's Alinda Bailey.
We're not just asking, what's your medical emergency? We're asking, do you have problems obtaining your medicines? Can you get to your appointments? Are you safe? Are you supported? We try to identify not only the medical needs, the mental health needs, but also the social determinants that play a factor in the care of our patients and clients.
Join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Are you struggling with your Medicare drug costs? The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program may be able to help. The Extra Help and Medicare Savings programs are available for those who qualify, but you have to apply. Contact SHIP today to see if you qualify. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Here at NC Cyber Academy, screens are a good thing. At our K-12 tuition-free virtual charter school, your child can find a flexible and personalized education that lets them take a brain break when they need it, but also provide structured one-on-one time with our amazing teachers. But we also power down our laptops for in-person activities with fellow students to build community. Visit myncca.com to learn how we can set your child up for success in the classroom, at college, and in their careers.
This is Adam Gold.
While I'm watching Colombia-Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
That was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Already, it's been fun. Chip Patterson joins us early today. He will join us at 1.
Just because he's so excited for the game tonight.
Maybe. That could be it. Yep. It also could be because at the bottom of the 1 o'clock hour, Chris Paul will join us. Did you know that Chris Paul is, I guess they bill him as co-owner of the soccer tournament?
Oh.
Yeah. So he's been there. Like, I noticed that the first year I was out there. This is year 3. And I noticed it the first year. I'm like, Chris Paul's hanging out in the VIP area.
What's he doing?
I wonder, is he just a big soccer fan, or is there a connection?
Mm-hmm.
And there is he has ownership stake.
There's a reason.
I think he's also a big soccer fan, though. So we'll talk to him about the event. Maybe we'll get him to break down why Liverpool's so great.
Oh, well, there you go.
Shouts real quick. The parade that was terrorized by, as it turns out, a drunk man in a car who barreled into the crowd. More than 50 people were injured. There are very few, though, that are still needing treatment. It looks like most, if not all, will make full recoveries. But, man, what a terrible way to, you're celebrating your club's first Premier League trophy in front of fans.
Yeah.
So the last time that Liverpool had won the top flight, I believe, was 1990. I think that's before the Premier League era. And this is their second title. The first one happened during COVID. So there were no fans. There was no parade, nothing. So there's been like 30-some-odd years of pent-up celebration. And then it's ruined by
that guy,
a drunk guy. Anyway, let's do one-timers.
Okay, so we do have some Canes chatter in the YouTube stream. So first up, this one from Ace. Is Mikula going to be on the ice tonight for the Florida Panthers?
All three injured Florida players are expected to play tonight. Sam Reinhart, Nico Mikula, and A.J. Greer all expected to play. They skated this morning, and Paul Maurice did say that he expects them to be in the lineup tonight.
All right. Next up, what player do we get after the offseason starts? What needs to be addressed for next year?
I mean, specific players kind of crazy to even get into, and I don't know that Carolina will dip into free agency. They've got a ton of money, but I think they're more likely to do it via trade than they are through free agency. They need a bona fide top six center, somebody who's either your 1C or your 2C, however you view Sebastian Aho. They absolutely have to get another center. They need size in their top six. Right now, if you put Carolina's best 6 forwards on the ice, frankly, they don't really have 2 centers in that group. Now, best is different, like in terms of scoring players. Only Andrei Svechnikov has size. Everybody else is either 6 foot or below. Not that you can't play and be effective, but if you see what the other teams have, there's a lot of beef, as well as talent. And Carolina is relatively small. Whether it's Aho's 6 foot, probably, Jarvis, 5'10", Blake, 5'10", 5'11", Stankoven is 5'7" or 5'8". They need some beef, and they need a center. They also need a top right defenseman to pair with Jacob Slavin, who is awesome in every possible way, but they need somebody to play with him. I don't believe it'll be Brent Burns next year. And I'm not sure that Carolina is going to bring back Dmitry Orlov either. I think there's a chance they re-sign Orlov for one more year. But they need some size.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Next up from WM, do we know what's wrong with Walker? Not the specific injury, but are we worried about upper or lower body?
This is what I read in The Athletic. The team is saying undisclosed. I think it's pretty easy to figure out that Jalen Chatfield's problem is lower body based on how we watched him leave the ice after Game 4 against Washington. It's lower body for Jalen. I actually saw Jalen this morning. I asked him if he was close. He said, I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I said, will we see you in Game 7? And he goes, I hope so.
Yeah.
So I think he's just talking.
Yeah.
I have a hard time seeing him in this series again. He didn't even take the morning skate today.
Mm-hmm. This one's specifically about Walker.
Walker
too.
is also, I think, his upper body. And I think it is somewhat concerning, might not be the right way to phrase it, that he didn't skate this morning. Yeah. So, look, you need one of them back soon. But because honestly, Carolina is going to basically play 5 defensemen tonight. Morrow will play, but if you noticed, Morrow barely played in Game 4, and I don't think Morrow's going to see a ton of ice tonight. So Nikishin will get 5th most minutes, and that'll probably be around 18 or so like he was in Game 4. So you're going to see a steady diet of 4. Gostisbehere is going to play a bunch, but Slavin and Burns and Orloff and Gostisbehere are going to play a ton. And, you just hope you're not playing 4 periods, 5 periods of hockey, because now you're starting to really stress those guys are going to play a lot of minutes.
Yeah. This one from Aaron. So, who wins it for the Canes if it happens, like a particular line or specific player?
Andrei Svechnikov, first goal scorer, plus 1,400.
Oh, there you go. Just throwing that out there.
Look, they need Aho, Svechnikov, and Jarvis to impact this game offensively. Could you win another game essentially 1-0? I mean, you could, but you can't live that way. You can't be perfect against Florida. So I think the top line is going to have to be offensive tonight. So I expect that trio to impact the game in a good way.
Well, I'm just curious. This one's for me. So which team has the best chance of coming back from a 3-1 deficit? The Canes, the Stars, or the Knicks?
That is an outstanding question. Best chance? And this really is about the opposition more than the team that is trailing 3-1. Look, for Carolina, it's hard because of how good Florida is, right? The Knicks are playing the Pacers, and the Pacers are good, but they're not great. The Stars are playing Edmonton, who's got holes, but right now I can't find them. So I think the best chance is probably the Knicks, but that is based on who they are playing, not who they are. Because I think the Knicks would probably be third on that list anyway of teams in terms of who they are. Chip Patterson joins us next.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. We are down to the Final Four in pro basketball, and that means all of the show-stopping action turning up just a little bit more. Don't miss your chance to bet on all the legendary moments with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, best place for player props, and now even performance trends, all within the best app in the business. Plus new customers, $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. That's FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the offseason, but it doesn't mean me and my co-host, WREL TV's Chris Lee, take a break from our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp approaches, insights on the rookies, the free agents, and the surprises, plus all the insider info on the upcoming season. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcast or watch on YouTube.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with OnePlus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
For nearly 140 years, the Salvation Army of Wake County has been serving our community, providing shelter, clothing, food, and emergency disaster services to those in need. Now the Army needs our help. With an increase in demand for services, they need help restocking their food pantry. Items needed include canned goods, pasta, and rice. Your generosity can make a big difference for a struggling family. Help the Army, help others. Donations can be dropped off at the Salvation Army Center of Hope at 1863 Capitol Boulevard in Raleigh.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to protect people's health, to preserve magnificent places and wildlife, and to combat climate change. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Support for The Fan comes from Paramount Pictures presenting Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Smart people on every side are close to panicking.
Every choice, every mission has led to this. Tom Cruise is back as Ethan Hunt in his most challenging mission yet.
I need you to trust me one last time.
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. See the movie audiences are raving about in theaters and IMAX now. Don't miss your chance to see the movie of the summer.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at richielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show.
You know, I do think that there is something to last year, him going to the conference final with the Dallas Stars in the West and going through that war with Edmonton and being prepared for, like, this is what has to happen. He is the epitome of a bulldog when it comes to making plays. He is not intimidated by anybody on that ice. He knows he belongs there. He can make the plays. His hands are really good, and I don't see him lose one-on-one battles. And if he does get, pushed down by a bigger opponent, he gets right back up and gets right back into the fight. And that's why. And in a series like this, you have to have that mentality.
That was Mike Maniscalco from, I guess it's yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday. It's funny. We have these conversations all the time when we have a 3-day weekend. Tuesday is the days that gets lost because yesterday felt like a Monday.
Yeah.
Right? Today's already Wednesday.
I know.
We skipped Tuesday. So on my my notebook here, which I always date, I wrote down Monday, May 27th. And it was not Monday. In fact, it was Tuesday. Because today is Wednesday, and that means it is a Chip Patterson day. So we start with my friend, CBSSports.com, Cover 3 podcast moderator. Vibe check, Game 5 tonight.
Don't
you dare.
It would be so different if there wasn't just so much relief and encouragement. Like you wish Game 4 was Game 1, right? But that's a lot better feeling than where we could have been. The vibe check in the moment, as you and I are speaking on this unprecedented statewide platform, 1:01 p.m. Eastern time, as I'm looking at my clock. I would have loved to hear that the trio, Mikkola and Greer and Reinhardt, would love to have heard that they're not playing again, Adam. So vibe in the moment. Just saw the update recently that they are going to be back in the lineup. Yes. That is undeniably makes the task more difficult, but I believe. I'm excited, and I believe, and I'm glad that no matter what happens here in Game 5, that Game 4 happened, because it changes the mental state, I think, of myself and a lot of other Hurricanes fans. To go into the offseason with existential crisis, existential dread, blow everything up, nothing is working, every nightmare happens over and over again. To not have that is at least a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing, and I look forward to Lenovo Center tonight showing out. And look, I don't request a lot from fans because I don't think you should. I believe that fans should be there at the start, and I think they will. But I think it is beholden upon the players to provide fans with the fuel to give it back to them. To me, it's not a one-way street. It's two ways.
Are you concerned about the vibe right now?
No, I'm not. No, I'm definitely not concerned about the vibe.
I think the fans are going to be great.
Yeah, no, but here's what I want. Here's my fear, because I see it. What happens if Carolina gives up the first goal? Right? The players are not going to give up.
Well, there's also a difference between. So I was lucky enough to get an opportunity to be in the building for Game 1. Game 1, you go down 2-0 really, really fast. Didn't feel like anyone had given up, especially after Sebastian Aho was able to be awarded for a goal.
Right.
He didn't score a goal. He was awarded for a goal right before the intermission. That's different than Game 2 going down 3-0 right off the rip and just showing no life. So I think that the building is smart enough that what's the big buzzword coming out of it? Playing on your toes.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that. Yes.
Yes, yeah. As long as the Canes are playing on their toes, I hope that the building stays till the end, regardless of what happens in terms of the outcome.
That's what I'm looking for. That's why I'm asking for unconditional love and support tonight.
Right. Yes. We're not asking for much, just unconditional love.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I was in the building when they lost Game 4 to the Devils in 2001. And to me, that was the night that I realized that the fan base would work, because they got punked.
They stayed for handshakes.
Yeah.
They stayed for handshakes and for one last clap.
One last salute, right? No,
one last salute, for sure.
I think Carolina's got this tonight. And we'll have a game on Friday. Mostly because they want to make my life as busy as possible, and I'm happy about that.
I told you the mistake. No, I told you the mistake was. By the way, we will need to make arrangements for next week. But I told you the mistake was me trying to figure out my trips back from the beach for Stanley Cup games.
That's right.
That was my mistake. I should never.
It's still valid.
My skis. I know.
No, it's still valid. Don't like blame yourself for anything. It's still valid. Jordan Stahl said it after Game 3, and I love the way he said it. Because Game 3 was there for Carolina.
Right there.
It's a 1-1 game. You kill a penalty, and all of a sudden it just and actually, even after the 2-1 goal, Carolina had the next 2 or 3 good scoring chances. Just didn't bury them. Jordan Stahl said they got to win 4. And he was just very matter of fact. They got to win 4. And look, I don't think anybody is expecting the Hurricanes to win 4 in a row against that team. But they don't really have to win 4 in a row. They just have to win tonight.
Yep.
And then we'll come back and we'll figure out what's going to happen on Friday. But they just have to win tonight. In some ways, it simplifies things. So let me simplify this.
Hold on, one last thing. And you tell me, because I'm not going to be as dialed into whether this is an overreaction to results. But obviously, the one that stands out is Stanley Cup final against Edmonton. But even in Tampa and definitely in Toronto, there was at least a game in each series that Florida could have had. And it's just, is it just this team does have trouble putting teams away?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, they did last year with the Oilers.
Right.
They lost Game 4 8-1 in the Stanley Cup Finals, and then they came back, had an opportunity to end it, and couldn't do it. So
they had the opportunity to get past Toronto in 6.
Couldn't do it
at home.
Right?
Couldn't do it.
And they, I think they lost Game 3 to Tampa, but won Game 4 on home ice. They have not been. They have been better on the road. Right, they have lost 3 games at home and just 2 on the road in the playoffs. And Florida hasn't had home ice advantage in any series yet. Florida's been the road team to play games 1 and 2 in every series.
They were the Atlantic 3 to the 2 Tampa. Wow.
Correct. Toronto won that division, and Carolina had more points than Florida during the regular season. So. I mean, they're in a position where they're as comfortable as any team I have seen in recent memory on the road. They really are. It's I've thought for a long time they were the best team. You knew you were going to have to deal with them at some point. In a lot of ways, I was hoping Tampa would take him out in round one, and Florida just put their foot on Tampa's neck right away. We'll see what happens tonight. I think we'll have another game. I think we'll have a game 6 and make Florida serve it out, which is what you're supposed to do. I love using different sports as analogies.
Especially
them serve it
Roland
out.
Garros.
Look at that. And American Taylor Fritz, the 4 seed, which shocked me that I heard he was the 4 seed, losing the first round. All right, let me get to this. The SEC meetings are in Destin, Florida right now. And you'll have to interpret why Scott Strickland, the athletic director at Florida, would say something that is so patently false. Where he said he's not crazy about a committee for football because we don't have enough data points. He thinks with few data points, we shouldn't have a committee. It's not the best way to select a field. He thinks in other sports with a lot more data points, then you could have a committee. Isn't it the opposite?
So what's interesting, if we're to just blow right through Scott Strickland saying, hold on, because let me build on to what you just pointed out. He said there's not enough data points in the same press availability that he said, well, SEC has the best strength of schedule. Look at all the data points. So the data matters until it doesn't matter. It matters as long as it's talking about SEC strength of schedule. Look at all the data points. But then also that same data set, the exact same data set of results, just not enough to be able to choose 12, 14, 16 teams to go and compete. Yeah. So the thing, again, now let's blow right through it. Let's take a train and just blast through this tunnel, because what I had a lot of fun with, because last year was the first year of the 12-team playoff. First year that we have really had to matter the difference between 7, 8, 9, 10. When I contend that those early committees only cared about your top 4, 5, and 6 and didn't even really have to do anything else other than reverse engineer their top 4, 5, or 6. This mattered. You had to make some hard rankings decisions. And all year long, they were lining up the committee rankings with what the BCS computers would have done. And dadgummit, at the end of the season, you go and you look at that top 13, 14, no team is off by more than 2 spots. Right. And I think only one team is off by more than 2 spots. Everything else is either right in line or 1 spot off. So committee, BCS formula, but sure, the BCS formula had computer ratings and human opinion with the polls. And do you know what happens inside that committee room? They are fed computer ratings, and then they've got their human opinion.
Right.
It is literally the embodiment of the BCS formula with this selection committee. So Scott, you and all the ADs around here are clearly moving in lockstep. You got your talking points, and everybody came out with the blitz. I understand the politicking that is happening right now. I don't think the argument is coming from a genuine place.
No, it's just so funny to me, because with less data, I need human beings who can sort through all of it. With more data, I could argue I don't. That we can just plug things into a computer and it would spit out the proper field. But we don't have more data points. We only have 13 or maybe 12, depending on only 5 teams, right? No, actually more than 5 teams likely have 13 because you'll have the losers in some of the championship games. But holy cow, it was just so disingenuous to me. And it does speak to, how the SEC and the Big Ten, because it's not just the SEC, want to engineer the 16-team playoff to guarantee them more spots. But to that end, did Greg Sankey not say yesterday that, we're really looking at a 5+11 model, the 5 conference champions, and then 11 at-large teams? And I'm like, what took you so long to get to where you should have been in the first place?
Okay. That is not how I understand the situation.
Okay.
I think and I could be wrong on this, please ask Jim Phillips, PhD, to give me a call if I am off. But I thought that the ACC and the Big 12 are moving in lockstep, suggesting a 5+11 model, that what they are getting in response is the SEC and the Big 10, and in particular the SEC, wanting those guaranteed spots, wanting the 4-4-2, hold on, 4-4-2-2,
right,
1-3 in a 16-team model, 4-4-2-2-1-1 in a 14-team model. That the idea is, well, in the 5+11, we don't get to have this grand competition for our spots, because they're already thinking about conference championship weekend, something that they control and that they want to drum up into this grand jamboree. And so they think if we've got these spots, we take our top 6 teams and we create a battle for the champion, a 3 and a 6, a 4 and a 5, a ladder challenge to be able to make it into the college football playoff, a play into the playoff, that would be a new revenue stream that isn't there right now. That 5+11 in the SEC, which would be regularly getting 4 teams in,
if
or not
more.
much more, that the conference championship is meaningless. That, there's not a 5+11 model where guaranteeing the 1 seed or guaranteeing a top 2 seed would be enticing enough to give the real meaning to that weekend. So my understanding is 5+11, number one, not my understanding, my opinion. I think 5+11 is easy to sell. I think 5+11 is easy to explain. I think 5+11 is fine. We'll line them all up in a bracket. We're not doing fast pass buys. We're not doing anything weird. We're doing a simple 16-team bracket the way that our simple minds can do, with the quadrants and the seeds. We understand it all. Sure, 5+11 makes sense. But I think that the more we complicate it, the harder it's going to be to explain to sports fans who are not really, really into college football. And that's a missed opportunity for being able to promote the sport.
Yeah, I just think it's, to me, and like I was looking up the quote, and let me just read the quote from Sankey. This is Greg Sankey at the end of yesterday's sessions. They talked about, I'll call it a 5+11 model, and our own ability to earn those berths, which I've been talking about for a long time. At the coaching level, the question is, why wouldn't that be fine? Because coaches all think that they're good. Why wouldn't we do that? We talked about 16 with them, so good conversation, not a destination, but the first time I've had the ability to really go really in-depth with that idea with them. I think at the administrative level, they want the assurance that they're going to get 4. But at the coaching,
guaranteed revenue,
right?
The coaches are much more into the competitiveness, because look, 5+11 it could mean more SEC teams in.
What do you mean could? I don't think there's a way it won't.
I mean, when we talk about, we had a great conversation this morning on the Cover 3 podcast, where what we've got between the Big Ten and the SEC is that the Big Ten isn't complaining a lot, because the Big Ten has a very, very good top tier.
Yeah.
But teams 6 through 12 know where they sit in the national college football landscape. And teams 6 through 12 would love to be playing in Jacksonville on New Year's Day.
Right.
Like Citrus Bowl would be a fantastic thing for our alumni. Go and spend New Year's in Jacksonville. They've got great activities, great things to do. That's fine for us. The Citrus Bowl tier. Teams 6 through 12 in the SEC expect to be competing for national championships. You're talking about places like Oklahoma, places like Florida, places that didn't win championships in the 1930s like Minnesota did, places that have won national championships in the 21st century. And so that group is louder about their opportunity, their access to compete for the national championship. The teams at the top of the Big Ten that expect to compete for national championships, it's only about 4, 5, depending on where USC sits and how it values football in any given year. So I think that's why the Big Ten is like 4, sure. 5+11, sure. Because if all of our teams have it running, we'll have a good representation. SEC is being loud about it because mathematically they are always going to have teams left out that feel like they should be in.
I mean, if I were looking at it from an SEC perspective, I would never agree to get 4 guaranteed spots ever, because I'm giving the Big Ten is getting them too.
But they want to leave the option, so they could, even a 4 guaranteed spots, you could still see a situation where they get 6 in a 16-team field that has 3 at-larges instead of a 14-team field that has 1?
Yeah, I could, but
right, you could.
Yeah, I wouldn't. There's never. I can't imagine a scenario where the SEC ever had in 16 teams, less than 4. I don't see that happening.
In 16 teams, they will never. Yeah, in 16 teams, they won't have less than 4.
If I were the SEC, I would never agree to it. I wouldn't do it.
So Sankey has been presented with 5+11. He took 5+11 to his coaches, according to that quote you just said. He also submitted the data analysis that they ran where 5+11 would have benefited the SEC just even more than other models when you retrofit it to previous rankings in the college football playoff.
I mean, look, I'd love to see the college football landscape care about the whole landscape. I'd love to see that, but I'm not dumb. I know they're not. I know they don't. I know Greg Sankey doesn't give a rat's rear end about college football as a whole. He only cares about SEC football. They can say what they want. They've proven it over and over and over again.
Hey, and to which I know that you're not going to like this preface, but to be fair to Greg Sankey, he is also, like a lot of these positions, he is doing the work of his bosses.
Oh, no, I totally understand it. I get what he's doing.
Yeah, you come out with selfish motives because you've got 16 university presidents that are going to, determine whether or not you continue to be in this position of power. And so you are ultimately, speaking with their interests at top of mind. This is not alone something where it's your vision that you just happen to be the one that is that's driving it.
Yeah, it's not his job to care about the whole. It's his job to care about those 16 schools. That's it. I get it. So in that regard, I understand where Greg Sankey comes from. But it would be great if somebody in that position said, yeah, this is great for us, but us doesn't dominate if it's just us. And I think we're headed for a just us. Like he was essentially given a mandate by enough administrators, whether it's presidents or whatever, to separate from the NCAA. And I'm like,
no. Hold on. All right, let's
do.
I've got more context on that one too.
Okay.
What that part of it was awesome. I actually think that it might have been one of my favorite things to come out of Destin because it was very much just like, you're kind of working the mic. You're just sitting there like, yeah, you wouldn't believe the kind of stuff. Like guys, you wouldn't believe this. I got one AD in there, and he's out here saying, what do we even need with the NCAA, right? Crazy. I mean, it's just him holding court, and he just lobs that one out there because he's like, oh, buddy, they are going to eat this up. Now, is there an athletic director, especially among those personalities, who at some point in Destin, Florida, might just kick back and be like, I mean, why do we even need the NCAA? Yes, I could believe multiple athletic directors in that room just sort of throwing that one out there. His choice to bring that to the microphone, I think, is just flooding the zone, baby. Let's just throw all this stuff out there. I mean, it was an overwhelming. That's not even to talk. We haven't even talked about 8-game versus 9-game conference schedule.
Right.
They tried to come at Kirby Smart talking about the college football playoff. He's like, well, before we talk about the playoff, we need to decide about the transfer portal. I mean, is it 1? Is it 2? And when is it? Okay, I won't talk about no playoff until we fix the transfer portal. I mean, the amount of just fodder and talking points that have been coming out of this, it's robust, I think.
You are robust, Chip Patterson. I appreciate your time. We'll talk next week when we get ready for the finals.
Sounds good. Y'all be well.
Chip Patterson, CBSSports.com, Cover 3 podcast. All right. I'm sure we had some runoff from one-timers, right? I mean, we always do. So we'll have a quick mailbag on the other side. Chris Paul, who was going to be at 130, is now going to be at 140 today. We should place bets now because we're not going to be able to do it when Chris Paul joins us about 10 minutes later than actually scheduled. So we can do a quick mailbag and we can place bets next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's playoff hockey night in Carolina. The Canes, Florida, in the Eastern Conference Final, Game 5.
Jake Cooper with a shot. He scores! scores! And for the first time in this series, the Canes have a lead.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck Drop at 8.
Svechnikov hands it up! Empty net bingo! Carolina, Sebastian Aho!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Testing.
We're live from Chick-fil-A.
This is Grant.
And this is Laura.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that sweet bun.
And that chicken filet was perfectly crispy and soft at the same time.
And that Smokehouse Barbecue sauce, it's a lot of fun. And the brown sugar bacon definitely had a little bit more pizzazz. Also, the Mac, one of the all-time greats. Man, I'm getting hungry.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and a Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. See Owner's Manual for important operating instructions.
Westwood One Sports presents this special tennis update. He started out strong but ended up having to work for it. Defending champ Carlos Alcaraz beat unseeded Hungarian Fabian Marozsian 6-1, 4-6, 6-1, 6-2. Alcaraz dropped the second set but broke Marozsian 8 times and was dominant in sets 1, 3, and 4.
He started to play better and better, and he reached a level that I couldn't handle it. So it was a great level from him, and I'm just really proud about refresh my mind and starting the third set really well, and ended up playing a really great two last sets.
With the win, Alcaraz becomes the first player born in the 2000s to earn 20 match wins at Roland Garros. No such luck, though, for 7-seeded Casper Ruud. The Norwegian became the second top 10 player to exit early following a 4-set loss to Portugal's Nuno Borges. With this tennis update, I'm Erica Herskowitz, Westwood One Sports.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
During National Military Appreciation Month, we at University of Maryland Global Campus say thank you to the service members, veterans, and families who dedicate their lives to our country. We are deeply grateful. For over 75 years, UMGC has proudly served the military community, from installations overseas to the communities you call home. Wherever you serve, we stand with you. Learn more at umgc.edu/thanks. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
One Adam Gold. One Adam Gold.
I'm really excited about next season, considering this was supposed to be a rebuild year. But with these new guys, like Bradley Nadeau, we've got Nikishin coming eventually. If we've got Hall still here, Jackson Blake, I mean, there's so much promise and potential. I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, and just wait till the big kid gets ready to play.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria's here. Chris Ball will join us at 1:40 today. He is co-owner of the soccer tournament, which is coming next week to Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, a festival of the beautiful game, but it's different because it's faster, way more scoring. If your argument with soccer is not enough goals, I get it. Well, you don't have to worry about this one. There are tons of goals in the soccer tournament. Super fun. We'll talk to Chris Paul about that. Plus, get his take on where the Knicks are falling short, maybe, or Anthony Edwards in the Western Conference Finals, saying I thought he had a good game when he scored just 16 points. Like I didn't have enough shots. You might control that. Anyway, we'll talk to Chris Paul about soccer and maybe some life. But right now, should we stretch? What should we do? We should have talked about this during the break, Victoria.
Well,
my fault for doing
I'm
other
good.
things.
I do have some mailbag questions.
Let's go to some more mailbag questions, and then
Gotcha.
we will stretch and place bets.
You've got mail.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so first up, between Nadeau, Blake, Stank, or Morrow, could you see Carolina trading any of these guys for a top 6 talent?
Not Stankoven. The others.
Yeah.
I could see any of those, depending on the player. They're not dumping good prospects. So you're trading a good prospect, you are getting something back. But I don't think Stankoven is going anywhere.
Yeah. Also, this is kind of a part 2 to it. Also, who besides Nikishin prospect-wise is untouchable in your opinion? If anyone.
Nobody. Only Nikishin.
Yeah.
That to me, I think he's the only untouchable one. But again, it also depends on what player we're talking about. And I don't know that anybody is untouchable based on what the return is.
Yeah.
But it would have to be something unusual for Alexander Nikishin to be involved in it.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, this next one, someone was excited about some NC State additions that happened recently. So, do you think NC State basketball enter the top 16 teams in the country?
Top 16? They'll be flirting with that, yes, but I don't know that they're 16 is kind of a random number. I think top 13 in the country.
Hey.
Top 17 and a half. They'll be right around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this one, someone was watching your Canes Corner podcast.
Oh, very nice.
And
Thank
you had mentioned blood orange blonde ale, I suppose?
Yes.
And so they wanted to know what makes that such a delicious beverage.
Oh, I don't know what made it. I would assume it's the blood orange, but it was fantastic. I wish I had a screenshot of the can.
Oh.
It was very, very delicious.
That's how they get you. They intrigue you with the can.
No,
they put like a good design on it.
But I've tasted it.
Yeah, and that's
and it
what
is
keeps
delicious.
you.
Yeah, I don't really love the can, but if I had a screenshot of the can, I could tell people what the brewery is.
Right.
All right, so there you go. We got to the blood orange. We should stretch.
Let's do it. Okay, so this may not be so good because this involves your refrigerator and what might kill you. So apparently there's 10 deadly foods in your refrigerator that you should be careful of because it can get you with some bad bacteria.
Okay.
Consumer Reports made a list of these 10 bad things. So be careful because, food poisoning's no fun. It's no joke. Now, the 3 bad bacteria we probably all know, but it's Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli. So these top 10 foods to beware of. I feel like we all eat these things. I know I do. 10 pre-cooked meats. So like pre-salad, pre-made salads, frozen burritos, stuff like that's really bad for it. Also, if you're trying to be super healthy and have organic things, might be a bad idea. Organic basil has caused 4 hospitalizations. There's also organic carrots to be careful of because someone died from it. This was all within the last year, too. So they have data for all of it. 1 death, 20 hospitalizations. Here we go, staying healthy. Leafy greens, next up. 1 death, 36 people had to be treated for it. Then onions, a death, 34 hospitalizations. Not fun. Here's my bad territory, eggs. That, thankfully, knock on wood, no deaths, probably because they're too expensive to buy nowadays, but that landed 34 people in the hospital. Then the top 4, very random, I would not have guessed this, queso fresco. I mean, that's random. Raw milk, Raw milk cheese, same thing. That's gotten people in there. Second up, cucumbers. Interesting. It's so random to me. And then number 1, I feel like a lot of people could probably guess, deli meat. So when you're making them sandwiches, that's
Yeah, I mean,
probably be careful.
don't use deli meat where the date on it was like 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
If there's a glaze,
the smell test doesn't always work.
no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
And if there's a glaze, then no, we don't need to have any.
Don't do that.
We should play some bets.
Let's do it.
Place your bets. Place your
I am
bets.
loaded for bear
I bet you
today.
slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal in Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
Oh man, I crushed it yesterday. Made nothing off of it though. I did crush it though with the bets. Oilers under 6.5. That was plus 190, and then Leon Draisaitl, anytime goal score, plus 110.
That was an elite goal too, by the way.
Oh yeah, I thought of you though because you picked my guy
And he got
Zach
hurt.
Hyman, and he got hurt within
Yeah.
like the first period.
That's
not good for the Oilers, by the way.
That looked like a bad injury.
That's
all right. Here we go.
All right, so first up, I'm gonna say, will there be a goal in the first 10 minutes? No. That's
Tonight?
yes. No. Plus 110 for no
Okay.
goal in the first 10. I do want the Canes to be the first to score, but, you know.
Yeah, Andre Svechnikov plus 1,400. We'll start right off. Canes. Carolina, just to win. Actually, they creeped over. It's minus money, but it's just barely. Under 5.5, plus 225.
Ooh, like it. Okay, I've been picking Taylor Hall to be an anytime goal scorer the past couple times. Not doing it. Give me Stanky, Logan Stankoven, plus 360 to be an anytime goal scorer.
All right, we have the NBA Western Conference Finals tonight. Oklahoma City about to send Minnesota packing. Give me OKC minus 8.5. Over 220.5 plus 260.
Nice. And last but not least, I'm doing this with my heart. Give me the Canes to win at home. Extend it one more game. Under 5.5. That's plus 225.
All right, we got a major European trophy. I don't know how major it is. It's the UEFA Conference League, which is the third tier of European competition. But Chelsea is involved.
Trophies are cool.
Trophies are great. That's why we play. Mm-hmm. Chelsea is involved, and Chelsea has dominated this competition until today. Real Betis, United's Anthony, who is on loan with Betis, he will score plus 420, and Betis will win in regular time plus 330. Have fun.
There you go.
Chris Paul joins us next.
Talking sports, so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
During the sports season, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling to and from athletic events. Wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. Prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. Remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message is brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program. The Body Armor State Games are coming to Greensboro this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 20 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 11,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. That's bodyarmorstategames.org. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Lowe's Foods, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Have you ever heard of paramedics who don't just respond to emergencies, but work to prevent them? The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. Cape Fear Valley Health's Community Paramedic Program is a groundbreaking initiative where paramedics aren't just transporting patients, they're building bridges to better care, right from the patient's living room. Here's Cape Fear's Alinda Bailey.
We're not just asking, what's your medical emergency? We're asking, do you have problems obtaining your medicines? Can you get to your appointments? Are you safe? Are you supported? We try to identify not only the medical needs, the mental health needs, but also the social determinants that play a factor in the care of our patients and clients.
Join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Are you struggling with your Medicare drug costs? The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program may be able to help. The Extra Help and Medicare Savings programs are available for those who qualify, but you have to apply. Contact SHIP today to see if you qualify. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Imagine a school where you could study AI and Ancient Egypt. Become a National Honor Student, join a cooking club, or code the next big video game, and do it all in a comfortable space. Your own home. Welcome to NC Cyber Academy, a K-12 tuition-free virtual charter school that provides you with a flexible, personalized education designed to prepare you for college and a career. Visit myncca.com and discover a learning experience that works for you, your family, and your future.
This is Adam Gold.
I have so many questions too. Like, is the mom going to be in the business too? Are we going to have like themed UNC products? She's in it, so.
Interesting ram horn you've got there.
Yeah.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Chris Paul will join us in a matter of moments. Future NBA Hall of Famer and soccer fan. Co-owner of the TST, which is starts next week, I believe a week from today, at Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary. And there's a ton of, we'll have the defending champions, La Bombonera, I believe, won. La Bombonera won last year, I believe. We had Newtown Pride the year before, I think it was. It's been an incredible event. It is a festival of the sport, but it's just cool. It's just fun. Great atmosphere at Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary. And look, I have never hard sold anything to you. I never would. I didn't do that about hockey way back in the day when I was told that hockey wouldn't work. But it's a good time. It's a really good time. And if your kids play, they will absolutely have a blast. They will absolutely have a blast. So we're looking forward to that starting next week. We'll hook up with Chris Paul here in a couple of seconds. There's actually a youth tournament too. So I know through the club that my son plays, there's going to be several teams that people randomly put together. So we're playing in a youth tournament. And if you advance to the finals will be played at Wake Med Soccer Park. It is It's an absolute blast. I know the basketball tournament was the first one. I think they're entering year 18 for the basketball tournament in, I think they hold it in Vegas. And that was the concept first. So this is year 3 for soccer, and we'll see if there's any changes planned. Also want to know why Chris just got into it in the first place, even though I think we talked about that a year ago. So, again, Chris Paul will join us in just a second. While we wait on this, Game 5 tonight at Lenovo Center. I asked Sebastian Aho about this earlier today. It'll be part of the pregame show. I asked him, based on the first 3 games, what are you looking at? What was different? Why was Game 4 successful when games 1, 2, 3 weren't? And he actually, I thought, made a very good point in that the games, all 3 games, were very different games. Incredibly different games. And there were moments in certainly Game 1, although less so than I think Game 3. But there was a huge moment in Game 3 where the Hurricanes could have won, or they certainly didn't have to get beat 6-2. And when you go back and you look at it, and it's 1-1 in the at the start of the third period, and Carolina is killing a penalty, and they kill it off, and you think, man, you get momentum out of that, and now you're in business, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work. They give up the goal, then they had chances, and the chances themselves didn't materialize. Then you give up the next one, and then it unraveled. And unfortunately, they were there, and then they went away. And Carolina found themselves in a 3-0 hole. But Game 1 was an opportunity that, hey, look, Florida was better, and Florida was better in Game 3 too. Florida's been the better team in the first 3 games, and Carolina was the better team in Game 4. And I also asked Rod Brindamore this. I asked him, is there more? And he goes, yeah, we can be better. And they'll need to be better tonight. All right. There are very, very few ever better than the one and only Chris Paul, co-owner of the soccer tournament, who joins us on the Adam Gold Show. Thank you very much for doing this, sir. I know you and I chatted last year, but I am just curious. What got you into this, other than it seems to be a great business opportunity?
Well, first of all, Adam, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. What got me into it? So we had a thing called the TBT to begin with, right? And then we graduated on to or sidestepped to something called the TST. And growing up as a kid, I never got a chance to play competitive soccer or whatnot. My parents only let me and my brother play 2 sports, but I've always been a fan, right? And then not only is our model not traditional soccer, but you have to win by scoring a goal, right? So creating this TST has been so much fun. The festival style feel, the amount of people that we have in North Carolina that show up, the different celebrities that tend to show up, it's just been very exciting.
No, it has been. So I asked you this last year. Your temptation to either form a team or get on one. I know last year you said, well, I'm going to play, and you did, and you played well. What is your level of interest in actually playing?
Yeah, I think it's in my contract somewhere that I still can't quite play. I'll coach, my strategy, my brain, that aspect of it. I used to play, well, actually in the backyard. My son was a really, really good soccer player, and I actually fell in love with it when he was playing. He's left-footed, was really good. Don't ask me why he gave it up, but one day I will step on that field. Just won't be June 4th through the 9th.
We have TVs in the studio, and the McAfee show was on, and Pat's good. And they had J.J. Watt on, and I watched him play last year. I've seen Chad Ochocinco play, and he's also a good player. J.J. looked a little out of his element. So down the road, maybe we see Chris Paul play.
Maybe. JJ looked like he wanted to tackle somebody when he was out there on the pitch. Meanwhile, Steve Nash had a great showing a couple years ago.
Right.
Chad is very competitive in it, and it's great to see Pat's team out there. It's very competitive, right? Very competitive. Obviously, there's $1 million on the line for both the men's tournament and the women's tournament, but it's a great time for families to come out because, as you know, Adam, it's very festival style and a great time.
It's amazing. I remember going out the first year, and I brought my son's a player. My son's going to play in that youth event, and hopefully they'll advance far enough where they play the championship match over at Wake Med. And we went the first year, and he's also a big hoops fan, and he goes, "That's Chris Paul. Why is Chris Paul here?" And we found out obviously your involvement in this whole thing. Have like guys who you play with or whatever, have they talked to you? There's such an international flavor in the NBA. Have they talked to you about it?
All the time. Obviously the timing of it, right, is during the NBA playoffs. It's funny, Shay, who's a really good friend of mine, his wife is a former soccer player.
Okay.
And so I talked to him about putting a team in it one year or whatnot, at least so she could play. But there's a number of guys who are always talking about, man, I want to put a team. So hopefully we'll continue to grow and get these guys some teams.
Are you surprised at the level of interest in this? I mean, the women's field is significantly bigger now than it was in year one, where there were just 4 teams, and now we've got 16. There's a lot of turnover in the men's field, and I know there were probably a bunch of teams that wanted to come back, but there was no room. Are you surprised at the level of interest?
Initially I was, but now I'm not, because what happens is you have all these different teams. Some teams may be entering for the first time, and some teams probably come over like, yeah, this is going to be easy money,
right.
whatnot. I don't need to train and get ready for it. And then you get there and you're like, oh, okay, this is serious. This is really serious. And I think that's what's cool about it. You have these different alumni teams, right? Some people who played at a college, 8-year gaps between them. So there's a community aspect of it too. And I honestly, Adam, I'm not just saying this. I look forward to it every year to be there.
Yeah, it is an incredible time. I hope the weather works out where it's not super hot. The first 3 days were incredibly cool, and then North Carolina showed up with the heat the last couple of days. Chris Paul is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. By the way, I don't know if you have any contact with JJ, but congratulations to him. Burnley is back in the Premier League. They cruised through the championship again. Do you have a Premier League side that you support?
I mean, obviously, it's funny being really good friends with JJ. I see him with Burnley. I was actually away from my 40th birthday recently and met the owner of Burnley. Right? Met the owner of Burnley. So that's huge for them in that win.
No doubt about that. But you don't look a day over 30, Chris Paul.
I wish that was the case. My body probably doesn't say the same.
How are the off seasons for you? Is it hard to recover from a regular season?
No, not at all, honestly, because, you get older, you get a little wiser. You know what to do. I was in the gym at 5 a.m. this morning, working out and training. My son just turned 16. I have a 12-year-old daughter, so my kids definitely keep me busy.
I would imagine so. Real quick, are the Knicks done?
Man, I hope not. I think they still got a lot of fight in them. It's been an unbelievable series, that series as well as the OKC series. But it's a lot of good basketball going out there. A cool thing I'll tell you real quick. It's funny. I think the PSG game is it tonight?
No, the Conference League. It's Chelsea and Real Betis tonight. The Champions League final, PSG and Inter Milan is on Saturday, I believe.
Okay, it's on Saturday. Wimby put something in our team group chat or whatnot. You know, I got different teammates that support this team, that support that team or whatnot. So Vic is a big PSG fan.
There's reason to be. That team without all of those stars, you know, those big time stars that they thought they were going to win with.
Yeah,
this team is better than those teams with Mbappe, with Messi, with Neymar. This team right now, this team's the best team in Europe.
It's it's big time. We actually we played against Indiana. We actually played the Pacers this past year in Paris and got a chance to go to a PSG game. It was unbelievable.
The atmospheres. Is there anything that compares to it?
Not really, to tell you the truth, because it's different.
Yeah.
It's just different. It's a different type of fandom. And fans here in our sport are amazing or whatnot, but you have people at those matches that if their team lose, they not at work for the next week. Yeah.
That is true. Look, as a Liverpool fan, I got a taste of PSG in the 2 Champions League legs where Liverpool looked like they were in reverse playing against PSG. They were awesome. Chris Paul, I hope to run into you out at TST. I'll be out there for as much of it as I can. I appreciate your time.
No doubt, Adam. Thanks so much again for having me, and I'll see you out there.
You got it. Chris Paul here on the Adam Gold Show. I told you, it is an incredible event, and it is so much fun to and it is not like normal soccer. There are goals, and they have the target score. In basketball, the basketball tournament is what gave us the Elam ending, where we have a target score. So when there are 2 minutes left in regulation, they basically, I think it's 2 minutes in basketball. When they get to the end of the clock, it's like, all right, whoever's leading, +1. That's the target score. So if you're down 10, you can still score 11 in a row. The other team has to score another goal for you to win. And then they start taking players off the field as well. It is crazy fun. So, all right, when we come back, we'll have the Wall of Sound, and then next hour, we're going to – actually, we have a little bit of soccer coming up. But also, we're going to run the numbers with our friend Ben Seltzer, get some numbers for Game 5 tonight. Also, Tim Gleason on Alexander Nikishin. That might come up next.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's playoff hockey night in Carolina. The Canes, Florida, in the Eastern Conference Final, Game 5.
Jake Coburn with a shot. He scores! And for the first time in this series, the Canes have a lead.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck drop at 8.
Svechnikov hands it up. Empty net. Bingo! Carolina, Sebastian Aho!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Hey, it's Paul Eihander for FanDuel. The semifinals are here, folks, and that means all the show-stopping action is turning up a notch. Don't miss your chance to bet on all the legendary moments with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel is the best place to find all your favorite player props, and now you can make the smarter play with new performance trends. Want to see if a guy's hitting the over consistently? Maybe they've been flirting with a potential triple-double. Get the latest stats right inside the app and see who's heating up. And once the game starts, that's when things get interesting. You can combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. And if you don't already have FanDuel, it's not too late to get in on the action. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul and join today. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing. Made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
A pepperoni pizza for the table. May I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time. Pizza deserves Pepsi.
Handy Hugo's has a refreshing deal. 2 1-liter Pepsis for just $3. Quench your thirst at Handy Hugo's today.
HIV is not a crime, or it shouldn't be.
It's time for the laws to catch up to science.
Join the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation to modernize outdated HIV criminalization laws. Go to etaf.org. Campaign funded through the support of Gilead Sciences, Incorporated.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-961-5544. 800-961-5544.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Draisaitl with speed, little pick at the blue line, opens some space for him, and he scores on a one-timer. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins got it from Draisaitl, gave it right back to him, and that trademark sharp angle shot off right wing makes it 1-0 Edmonton. Top of the left circle, hands it off. Nugent-Hopkins with a great pass, tipped in by Corey Perry. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with his 4th consecutive multi-point game in this series teams up with Perry to give Edmonton their 2nd lead of the night. Face off in the Edmonton zone, controlled by the Oilers and hoisted through the middle of the ice by McDavid. Kapanen picks it up at the blue line and delivers it to the empty net. The Oilers lead 3-1.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Oh my gosh, do we have things to do? Normally on Wednesdays we talk with Sean Nahas of The Courage. He probably doesn't want to talk today. They got 5-2 loss at San Diego, so I don't blame him for taking a week off. We are going to talk to the new, director of soccer at the club, coming to us from Barcelona. Maybe he's coming to us from the bottom or the top of the Lamine Yamal money pile.
Maybe.
So he just said, this kid, for people who don't know who Lamine Yamal is, he's 17 years old. And he is, I don't even think it's debatable at this point, the best player in Europe at 17. Plays for Barcelona. He had a contract extension that would pay him about £8.5 million or something like 10 million euros next year. And the club went, yeah, we can't just pay you that. That's how good he is. The club went, yeah, we got to pay you something a lot more than that.
That never happens.
So they just basically almost quadrupled it. No joking. Yes, crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, we got a lot to do. In the Wall of Sound, you'll hear from Carolina's, one of the Hurricanes' coaches, Tim Gleason, who coaches the defense, on Alexander Nikishin. And we'll also talk about superstitions. I alluded to this before. And it is a great bit from Tim Kirkjian from ESPN, his baseball podcast. But let's do the Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, let's start with Tim Gleason. So everybody wants to know about Alexander Nikishin. He's how good he is, how great is he, what happened with the first game, why did he play? Like, was game 4 really great? How do we look at it? So I figured, why not ask somebody who would be an expert in the field, Tim Gleason.
Well, I think he had a little bit more poise than I thought in the couple games that he had. Which that first game against Washington, that was a kind of a tricky spot for him. Not playing for some time and jumping into a playoff game for his first game. So he's definitely growing on everybody, especially myself. Again, poised with the puck. He tries to be physical when he can here, and a bright surprise for sure.
3 games. The second game was a big step from the first game because he was good. How good was he in the third game?
Well, I think you just see a little bit more poise with it, and just getting more comfortable. Again, language is a bit of an issue, but it actually helps really well when he's paired up with Orly. Obviously very beneficial with that. Orly's done a great job trying to help him, or translate the message, I should say. So just overall, he's got to continue to do what he's doing. I think he's just going to get a little bit more comfortable going through videos, seeing it over and over, just like anything. Just like reading a book. How to get better at reading a book, you keep reading the books. So that's what he's doing. He's got a lot of energy, good personality, wants to do well, wants to do it right. And again, bright sign for sure.
All right, walk me through the play that led to the goal, because he made 2 good plays on that play, one that breaks up a play, and then he goes and finds the puck. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, I think it's just playing fast. I mean, that's the key. I kind of mess with him in terms of taking pucks back. I go, first message was take pucks back, sit a long time on that bench. So don't everything up quick. Don't mess around with it. So he's done well with that. Made himself a good play there, and obviously thanks to the rest of them.
So you used him on the PK. I didn't expect it. Very little. He played the last shift of, I think, 2 of the 4, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother ball game because there's a lot of reads, and when there's motion, there's more reads. Again, he's had some time in practice with it. Just making sure he's dialed in on that. And he's got a long reach. He's a big guy. He can move a bit, so that's beneficial when you got a longer reach. Kind of helps you out there, but he's just got to continue to grow, and he understands more than you think, probably, right. Even more than I think. So just got to keep going and keep showing it to him. And he's doing well.
What do you think his potential is long term?
Well, I think there's a top 4 there. I mean, you don't. I don't see. Again, he's a younger player that's just a big change with ice service and all the things, speed, level, time of year. This isn't. He didn't jump into preseason or the first 10 games of the season, mind you. So I think people don't even really think about that. So he's made a big leap right off the hop here, and he's got to continue to grow, continue to watch video, continue to learn, and try to stay on the same page. And it's fun to watch him.
Thank you.
Tim Gleason. So, for people who are like, why wasn't he playing? And I had offline with either Rod or Tim, I've talked about it. There's no way, I mean, I certainly don't see the nuances, but Tim does, and Rod does. And there are people at home going, he should have been this, better than that. And we're just not equipped to see what they see. We're just not. And even the people who cover the sport for a living, honestly. Because I'll bring like another example of something else up in a sec. He wasn't ready. The game at Washington, yeah, there was some good there. The shot looked good. And that one sequence where he defended Ovechkin was great. But Ovechkin almost, by the end of that series, came self-defended. And game 2 was fine. And I think you heard me ask him, was he good or was he good on a curve? And the answer was both, kind of. Like, he mitigated because of some talent. He mitigated some mistakes that he made. So he was able to, kind of escape his own, issues because he's got a lot of talent. And I hope that this game is another step from the last one. We got to keep making those steps. Carolina's going to need him. My guess is we won't see Jalen Chatfield or Sean Walker probably until the Stanley Cup Finals. That's as optimistic as I can be. All right, let me get one more thing in here, if not more. So Tim Kirkchin does a baseball podcast. It's called "You Gotta Love This Game." It's something to that effect. And Kirkchin loves baseball. He wrote a book about the sacrifice fly. Love it. So, apparently they went to Walter Johnson High School, I think in Maryland. I believe it's in Maryland. Anyway, they won his old high school, and he's 68 years old. His old high school won the state championship this year for the first time ever.
Oh, man.
First
did it in
time
his
ever.
life, though.
Right?
Yeah.
It was very cool. And he does it with his son, I believe. Does the podcast with his son. His son also went to that high school, and they never won a state championship in baseball, but now they have. The podcast, they actually had on that baseball coach, which is very cool. Anyway, so they did an all-time team, and they did it not from that high school. They did an all-time team of people named Johnson. Who do we talk to about baseball all the time? Elliot Johnson.
Yes.
So Elliot Johnson made the team, and there's an interesting story with Elliot Johnson, and here's the podcast.
Our shortstop is Elliot Johnson, who I always tell this story about him. Very superstitious. Told me that when he was at the plate, he would chew watermelon bubble gum. When he was in the field, he would chew grape bubble gum. It was a superstition. He got traded to the Braves. The first thing he said when he arrived in the clubhouse for the first time to the clubhouse kids, "Do you have any watermelon bubble gum?" And they said, "No." He goes, "You got to get some. You got to go out and get some now." So they went to the store and got him watermelon bubble gum because, as he told me, and he was dead serious because he's a smart guy, funny guy, and a good player in his day, the hits are in the watermelon bubble gum. And he really believed it. And he said, "I got 2 hits that night." And he really believes he got 2 hits in a major league game because he was chewing the right gum.
He didn't make a lot of postseason appearances, but he only has 1 postseason hit, and it was a triple. Isn't that interesting?
There you go. All right, our outfield is Alex Johnson.
That is fantastic. All right, now.
There's hope for the Cheez-Its.
Right. That's where you went. That's good.
Yeah.
So that's about our friend Elliot Johnson. As I texted him today, I said, now I have my next intro.
Yes. I love this. And now we know what to get him for Christmas.
Oh, my gosh. The hits are in the watermelon
bubble gum.
Bubble gum.
That's fantastic.
Not pits?
I guess not.
Hits, not pits.
Yeah.
There you go. And all I could think of was, if you believe that you are on a streak, I'm channeling Bull Durham right now.
Yeah.
Because you're wearing garters. All right.
There you go.
When we come back, brand new director of football from North Carolina FC will join us from Barcelona. Next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Let's go! It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Here's Svechnikov, 2 minutes remaining. Svechnikov puts up angle. He scores!
Let's go, Canes!
Hall all alone. In on Thompson. Hall scores!
Go, Canes!
Wide open. Rebound. And what a save by Anderson!
The Canes' road to the Stanley Cup runs through us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Westwood One Sports presents this special tennis update. Seeking her 4th straight French Open title, defending champ Iga Swiatek cruised past Emma Raducanu in straight sets 6-1, 6-2. And with the win, Swiatek remains the only player, male or female, to reach the 3rd round or better at every Grand Slam this decade. It's the end of the line, though, for American Danielle Collins. She was knocked out by Serbian Olga Danilovic in 3 sets. At this hour, world number 1 top-seeded Aryna Sabalenka is taking on Jill Teichmann of Switzerland. Defending champ Carlos Alcaraz beat unseeded Hungarian Fabian Marozsian 6-1, 4-6, 6-1, 6-2. No such luck, though, for 7-seeded Casper Ruud. The Norwegian became the 2nd top 10 player to exit early following a 4-set loss to Portugal's Nuno Borges. Another upset on the men's side, Italian Matteo Gigante surprised 20th-seeded Stefano Tsitsipas in 5 sets. With this tennis update, I'm Erica Herskowitz, Westwood One Sports.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
The DQ Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Baskets have more flavor than your taste buds know what to do with. We start with all white meat, breaded, seasoned, and fried to crunchy perfection. Next, we double down and toss them in honey barbecue or new buffalo sauce. Serve them up with DQ fries, Texas toast, and house-made Hidden Valley Ranch, and you've got flavor on flavor on flavor. Get the Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Basket in honey barbecue or new buffalo right now at DQ. Happy tastes good. Participation may vary.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is Adam Gold.
He doesn't have many years to choose from.
No, and part of that was COVID. Nobody's picking COVID.
COVID was a great year.
Yeah.
Look, if you invested in Zoom,
oh, that was a good year.
You had a good year during COVID.
Yep.
The Adam Gold Show.
This one is for Elliot. Watermelon crawl.
Oh, very nice.
I know you didn't know. This is like a deep cut, a country deep cut. So.
Country deep cut, I would definitely not know. But there is a great jazz track called Watermelon Man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This was the only one I could think of with watermelon in it.
A classic. Yeah. Can't think of any. Songs, do a Google search, songs about watermelon.
Yeah, there's no telling what you might get.
No, yeah, probably not a good idea. All right, well, we will check in with Carrie Bolley in just a minute. It's not always easy getting here from Barcelona. Anyway, we'll do that. Again, we have Game 5 tonight, the Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. So it's just sometimes the simplest thing is the truest thing. In that, yes, Florida has won these 3 games, the first 3 games of the series. They won those for a reason. Better team, better in the moments, all of that. But at some point, you're going to get your opportunities and you got to take them. And Carolina in Game 4, while it wasn't a perfect game, it was pretty darn close to it. They got that chance in the middle of the second period. Actually, it was relatively early in the second period. Logan Stankoven buried it. And then Carolina, they got great goaltending from Frederick Anderson. And as I spoke with Rod Brindamore today, Rod pointed out that after the first period, and maybe even after that first flurry, I think there were about 10 minutes where Florida did put some pressure on and really could have scored a goal. After that, Fred didn't have to do anything too spectacular the rest of the way. And the team in front of him kind of took over. And I got confirmation from my own eyes about what I saw during the game, and what I saw was next level Jacob Slavin. No joke. And I asked, this was offline. I talked to Tim Gleason about it. I said, because I was surprised coming out of it that there wasn't more talk about how good he was. And everybody that I saw, hey, what did we see in Game 4? All of the national media that cover this. And there was no mention of Slavin. I listen to the NHL channel on Sirius XM all the time. And there was no talk about how good Slavin was. A lot of talk about Stankoven, justifiably so. A lot of talk about Freddie. A lot of talk about Alexander Nikishin, who had the assist on the goal. But no mention of how good Slavin was. So I asked, I said, was he as good as I thought he was? And Tim's answer to me was, he was better than you thought he was. He was better than you thought he was. And he compared him defensively to Nick Lidstrom with the Detroit Red Wings, who is in the Hall of Fame. He said, there's nobody better in the league than Jacob Slavin defensively. All right. Joining us, I'm not even sure I can divulge his location, but it was told to me, and I wasn't told to keep it a secret. From Barcelona, Chief Soccer Officer of North Carolina FC, Carrie Bolley. Sir, thank you so much for your time. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. You have taken over from my friend Kurt Johnson. I'm sure you'll be way better at this job than he was. I'm kidding, of course.
Yeah, no, I'll let you decide that. That's for other people to decide. I'm sure Kurt did a great job.
Oh, he was amazing.
I'm privileged to now take over.
He was amazing. All right, what attracted you to this? I know you spent time with the City Football Group, which, for people who don't know, that's Manchester City. And until this year, they were the 4-time reigning Premier League champions. There's also NYC FC and MLS, Girona in La Liga. So there's a pretty expansive group there. What drew you to this?
Well, I think first you see that the Courage have been the most successful team in NWSL history, right? Yeah. So there's a big attraction there. And honestly, genuinely, it's the opportunity to work with good people. It's unique in the fact that there's the Courage and obviously the men's USL and a major youth club on our doorstep as well. But actually the soccer landscape across Carolina is what really drew me there. So when you think about the college programs and what we have as an opportunity there to continue to connect the whole landscape, that's really what excited me. It's a hotbed for soccer in North Carolina.
Oh, there's no question. There are tons of other clubs too. It is the youth soccer system in North Carolina is massive. My son is a part of it. So let me quickly. What role does, like the NCFC youth program, what role does that play in all of this?
Well, I think significant, because every club wants to develop their own players, right, and develop a pathway for youth players from kind of grassroots through youth academy to pro. And when you have the numbers of players that our youth club has and the good work that's already going on there, then I think it's going to play a significant part in the future of our club for sure, both on the men's and the women's side, as we continue to strive to develop our own talent for the future.
Carrie Bolley is joining us, Chief Soccer Officer with NCFC. The Carolina Courage is. Do you sense a difference, boys versus girls, in terms of the development, in terms of rising from the youth level to maybe pushing for a spot in a first team?
Yeah, well, I think obviously it's the same game, but they're also quite unique. The men's game and the women's game is unique, and we must remember that. And there's also the pathway looks different because of what's possible for youth players making debuts in the men's and in the USL compared to what it is in the NWSL. So we have to bear that in mind, that there are definitely some differences along the pathway. But for me, in the end, it's the same whether it's boys or girls. You just want to try to help every young player get the opportunity to fulfill their ambition and their dream of becoming professional soccer players. And so from that perspective, I just treat the two equally in terms of an area of focus and what we need to do to help them to be pros.
We're talking with Carrie Bolley, who's Chief Soccer Officer of NCFC. I am curious, the club versus college. We have a lot of colleges here playing some pretty good soccer, both at the men's and women's level. What is how does the club look at the competitive soccer programs at the college level?
With massive respect, I would start with respect for what they are and what they've done and what they continue to do. And for us, it's about how do we work together across that landscape and give the best opportunity to the player at the right time. Every player's journey will look slightly differently. So for some, and you've started to see it across the league, they will turn professional younger than what maybe they would have done traditionally. But then for others, they need longer in a college system before they mature and are ready to go into pro. So I think it's about working together. It's about understanding what each are trying to achieve in the longer term development of players and creating pathways, and then finding the right fit for the player at the right time, and knowing that is going to look very different from player to player. So there's no one size fits all approach for sure. And it's our job to try and find the best approach for each player as they go along their journey.
Carrie Bolley is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I am curious. The Citigroup is a multi-club group. Do you think that's the future of certainly at the European club level? But I mean, they obviously own an MLS side. Do you think that's the future of multi-club ownership? Is the future?
It's certainly become more popular, right? And you can see deals yesterday with more NWSL clubs becoming part of multi-club groups of the future. So it seems to be trending that way for sure. But every multi-club group is very unique as well in terms of what it serves and what its purpose is within the wider landscape. So it seems as if it's kind of the trend. But then, it's about finding the right sweet spot, if you like, for what you want it to be, whether that's connecting the clubs for performance elements, whether it's connecting clubs for development pathways. We did a little bit of everything at City Football Group in the way that we try to utilise and maximise the opportunity across the whole kind of globe, if you like, of our 13 clubs when I was there. Some were very much development focused, academy development focused. Others were there to try to win in their territory every season. So there was lots of different objectives going on throughout the world.
Yeah, the last part, that was Pep Guardiola and Manchester City, who threatened to apparently leave the club if they didn't trim the roster some. That's so funny to me. Couple of more things and then we'll let you go, because I know, first of all, why are you in Barcelona?
Work related.
Sure.
I'll just say that. So it's making sure that I maintain a connection through Europe, because obviously it's a global game. So there's an element of needing to maintain that connection, and an opportunity to also see some games and different stuff that are going on here at the minute. Mixture of things really.
No, it's fine. I commented before that maybe you were sitting somewhere on Lamine Yamal's big pile of money that he just got from Barcelona. It's a massive contract. Makes me laugh. He's only 17. It is a freak show. Do you think, and we'll close on this, do you think that we'll ever have, and I know the NWSL is expanding and Major League Soccer is expanding, but and the USL obviously will as well, and I know there's a plan for promotion and relegation there. Do you think we'll ever feel the way we feel about European clubs, the way those communities embrace them? Is that the goal of, we'll just use the courage here, to have the community embrace it to the point where, like we see it on Welcome to Wrexham, how the community is the club, or vice versa, the club is the community. Do you think we'll ever get to that point?
Yeah, I think. Look, for us, it's very much about making sure the club's at the heart of the community, and at the moment we see that with great attendances at our games. People are showing. Hopefully, what we do on the pitch will help them continue to want to come and be a part of it. But certainly for us, it's about making the Courage a key part and a fundamental element of the community. It's different, of course. We have to also understand that the US is different to some other countries in Europe, and the way that people consume the game is a little bit different. But I certainly see the passion in the people that come, and also the family element to it, which is fundamental for us to continue to build a fan base for the future as well. That we continue to welcome families to games, and wider than that, the stuff that we'll continue to do in the community, which will expand over the next period of time for sure, and you'll see more of an emphasis on that from us at the club.
Real quick, I know you're Welsh. Were you a Wrexham fan, or are you annoyed at what Rob and Ryan have done?
It's impossible to be annoyed at what they've done, right? They've done a phenomenal job with what they've done at Wrexham. I've had close family ties to Wrexham over the years, but equally have had ties to each of the Welsh clubs, really. But when you look at what they've done from the outside, it's very difficult not to be impressed by not just the back-to-back promotions, but as you mentioned, the community, and making sure the community is a real fundamental part of the growth of the club. They've done a phenomenal job of that.
Back-to-back promotions. They're going to be in the championship. That is going to be a bucket of ice water next year. That is no joke. League One and the championship, very, very different. I appreciate your time. Carrie Bolley, Chief Soccer Officer for NCFC. I'd love to do it again when you come back stateside.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me. Always open to come and chat with you guys. And again, thanks very much for having us on the show.
You got it. That's very cool. Man, I'm just so geeked by all of that. All right, back to Game 5. We're going to run numbers, and then you'll hear from the head coach. All of that. We got time. We got stuff to do. All of that next.
Chapel Hill to Charlotte, Greenville to Greensboro. Your sports, his state. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. We are down to the Final Four in pro basketball, and that means all of the show-stopping action turning up just a little bit more. Don't miss your chance to bet on all the legendary moments with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, best place for player props, and now even performance trends, all within the best app in the business. Plus new customers, $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. Join today. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Greensboro this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 20 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 11,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. That's bodyarmorstategames.org. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Lowe's Foods, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Have you ever heard of paramedics who don't just respond to emergencies, but work to prevent them? The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. Cape Fear Valley Health's Community Paramedic Program is a groundbreaking initiative where paramedics aren't just transporting patients, they're building bridges to better care, right from the patient's living room. Here's Cape Fear's Alinda Bailey.
We're not just asking, what's your medical emergency? We're asking, do you have problems obtaining your medicines? Can you get to your appointments? Are you safe? Are you supported? We try to identify not only the medical needs, the mental health needs, but also the social determinants that play a factor in the care of our patients and clients.
Join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Are you struggling with your Medicare drug costs? The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program may be able to help. The Extra Help and Medicare Savings programs are available for those who qualify, but you have to apply. Contact SHIP today to see if you qualify. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
Because if interrupting is part of the talent, then she wins.
Giving an RBF face? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, everybody saw it.
I didn't say it. I
that picture
did not say that.
When they were asking Bill and she interrupts him and they look at her, that's evil. Like, I was waiting for the lights to come out of her pupils.
You're not wrong.
The Adam Gold Show.
All right, Game 5 tonight. I have had way more energy than I should, but I think we're all excited for Game 5 tonight. And in studio, we're going to run the numbers with Ben Seltzer, Ben the stats guy, Ben the stats nerd. I don't know, whatever Victoria puts up on the Chiron on the video. All right, so turn your mic on. All right, so Ben the stat guy. That's what it is. All right, give me good positive numbers about tonight, because we all need good, positive feelings going to the arena.
All right. Some positives first.
Yes, positives.
We all know in the Rod era, the Canes, 31 home playoff wins, most in that 7-year span. And where are they playing tonight? They're playing at home.
They are.
So that should be in their favor. I mean, they started off 5-0 at home,
right.
And they lost the 2 games to the Panthers. But regular season and playoffs combined, 36 wins, tied for the most this season with Winnipeg. And also, I think you touched on it before, the Panthers have trouble closing out series. The past 2 years, they are 6-7 when closing out a series.
That's not good.
Not that great.
6 wins is good. It means you've closed out 6 series.
Yeah, so this is my point. Like, the Oilers, last year's Stanley Cup final, which is probably one of the greatest Stanley Cup finals, in recent memory.
Right.
Panthers were up 3-0. What happened? Oilers forced it to a Game 7, winner take all.
Yes.
But, in those scenarios, all you need is just one win. Compared to the mountain on the other side.
A 1-3 record to close out a series isn't that bad.
It's better than the 0-3, right?
Right. You've closed out that series. Within that series, a 1-3 record is okay.
Yeah. I mean, we were just talking about it before. You need to, not look at, hey, we got to bring this to 7. It's one shift, one play, one game at a time. Keep it simple. Do your job. Go from there.
4 series in NHL history have gone from 0-3.
4 out of 212.
Right.
Dig on that too.
How many get it to Game 6?
That I
Carolina did last year.
Yeah.
Like Carolina did last year with the Rangers.
They did, yeah. And
got
they
it
lost
to
in
game
six. That's right.
Not only, but here's the other thing. The comeback win at the Garden last year, because they were down entering the third period.
Right.
Came back and won that game to bring it back here. We don't have to talk about that. But, I mean, I know there is a common thought. I talk to Tripp about this all the time. He believes they would have gone to New York and won.
If they forced it to 7,
yeah. And maybe they would have. The difference, of course, is those Rangers, not as good as these Panthers.
No. Who do the Rangers lose to the next round?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with that. So, yeah, we just touched on there was 4 series that actually down 0-3 and came back and won. The first one was in 1942, over 80 years ago. Maple Leafs over to Red Wings. I'm a big NHL history nerd.
Right.
So the big thing with that series was they made a lineup change in Game 4. I don't know if you heard of him. Don Metz came in Game 4. He recorded 4 goals and 7 points the rest of the series.
Really?
Yeah.
Who can do that? I guess Alexander Keeshan could do that.
Yeah, sure. That's the parallel you could use for that
Mark
series.
Jankowski had one chalked off.
Here's a big one that I found a lot of good parallels for and could, ride home with you a little bit. The next one that happened, 1975 quarterfinals, Islanders over to Penguins.
Right.
Pens went up 3-0. Islanders stormed back.
What year was that again? 75. That was like the third year of the Islanders, or second year maybe of the Islanders.
It started in 71-72. So
okay. Third year.
Those first 3 games, Pens scored first in each of them, outscored the Islanders 7-1 in the first period. That sound a little familiar?
Yeah.
First 3 games, Panthers scored first in all 3 games and outscored the Canes 6-1.
Okay.
So we're 1 goal off.
I like it.
Now the turn. Games 4 through 7, Islanders scored first in all 4 games and outscored the Penguins 5-1 in the first frame. So most recent example, it was a scoreless
first period. I'll take that.
But the Canes scored first.
Yes.
And if you look at the first 2 rounds, the Canes have been it's kind of been their crutch a little bit. Against the Devils, Devils outscored them 5-3 in the first period. So they've had sleepy starts, and I mean it's still jarring in my head. They came back and stormed in the second period and dominated from there. The next series, it was only a 2-1 advantage for Carolina in the first period.
Right.
So and if you look back to the regular season, it's been a little bit of a problem there. 43 times the opponent has scored first compared to 39 times the Canes have scored first. And they've been outscored in the first period 74-68. The 68 first period goals tied for 19th, not the best.
No, that all year long, the first periods
had been a problem.
Carolina has been a great second period team and third, but mostly second period. And I was surprised when I went back and looked at the numbers before Game 3. So in the 12 playoff games, actually you can include Game 3 because it happened there too. Carolina had only scored the first goal 5 times in 13 playoff games. So for a team as good as Carolina, forget about what happened against Florida.
And very well prepared.
Right. But forget about what happened against Florida. What happened against the Devils and Washington, with all respect, not the level of Florida.
Sure.
For Carolina to only have the first goal 5 times in those 10 games, it was remarkable that the Hurricanes won both of those series in 5.
Yeah, especially. You would think, just based on that data, you would think it would go at least 6 or 7.
At least one of them.
But like you said, probably inferior opponent compared to a Stanley Cup champion.
Yeah.
a reigning champ.
I'm not comparing them to Carolina. I'm comparing them to Florida.
Yeah.
Because I think we all agree that Carolina is not Florida.
Sure.
There's a gap. But yeah, to me, it was surprising that they made it not look easy, but they didn't have to sweat out a game 6 or 7 based on that.
If you look at those first 2 games that you pointed out, what was it, 5-1 Florida outscored them in the first period? Those first 2 games, I believe.
Well, there was no scoring in the first period of Game 1. The first goal. No, I'm sorry. It was.
It was 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. Yeah,
but either way, they're coming off of those first 2 series where they had those sleepy starts, and I don't know, maybe they thought they could get away with it.
Yeah, I don't think
all
they
regular
thought that.
season long too.
Yeah.
So I mean, Game 4 was finally the wake up.
We hope.
Yeah. So 2010, Flyers over the Bruins in the semifinals. Another parallel. The last time 0-3 deficit and the team to overcome it, Kings over the Sharks, 2014 first round. And there's actually somebody on the Kane side with interesting perspective of the other side, you know. Brent Burns, he was on the Sharks.
Okay.
He went up 3-0, and, you know.
I was thinking about Justin Williams, who was on the Kings.
Yeah. But Brent Burns on this team could be on the other side and, you know, give some perspective. Hey, we're all confident in the world, and then we let it slip. But anyway, some parallels. Those first 3 games, Sharks start off 17 goals, 23.1% PP, highly, you know, offensive.
Yes.
The next 4 games, Sharks PP went 1 for 19, 5 goals over 4 games. 5.
Yeah. That's what's going to have to happen, probably.
Yeah. And a little parallel to this series. First 3 games, 16 goals for Florida, 44.4% PP. Game 4, 0 goals, 0 for 4 on the PP.
Look at that.
So maybe we could see some parallel there too. So you have a parallel from 1975 with the Isles and 2014 with the Kings.
All right.
Maybe
I don't need negative numbers. We all know what the negative is. The Florida Panthers are great and they only need 1 win. It's the only negative number I need to know.
Yeah. I mean, they've produced on the road at historic levels, 43 goals for. They're just 6 goals from tying an all-time single-season road record in a single postseason. It would be 49 goals would be the tying, and that was the 1993 Kings.
So that had Gretzky. The 93 Kings
Luke
at Gretzky.
Robitaille, Tony Granato, all those guys.
Pretty good team. Florida's last 4 road games, 5 goals, 5 goals, 6 goals, 6 goals.
Pretty good. That's how you get up to 43 goals right now.
Yeah. Very good. All right.
You want to touch on Bob a little?
You can touch on Bob. Might get you arrested, but
960 save percentage in the 2 playoff series versus the Hurricanes. That's really good, right?
Yes.
And we were just chatting before. It went down from
it dropped
year.
from 2023. Because it was 975 in 2023.
So among goalies who have played at least 2 series versus an opponent in the playoffs, so it's a decent sample size we're trying to get. 960 is the 3rd best since the mid-1950s. That's when the NHL started keeping track of save percentage.
Okay.
Only J.S. Giguère, former Hartford pick, had a 987 save percentage in 6 games versus the Wild.
Okay.
Over 2 series. And Martin Jones, 970 over 5 games versus Ducks.
Now, Jean-Sebastien Giguère won a Stanley Cup.
He did.
Martin Jones did not.
He was a backup.
Backup to who?
Kings in 2012.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yes.
He was a backup, so he does have a Stanley Cup.
Does have a Stanley Cup, wasn't the shining guy.
Right. He wasn't, that was still Jonathan Quick.
Yes, and Bob has a cup as well.
Yes, he does, and we don't want him to get 2. Ben, thank you. All right, it's time to hear from the head coach. I talked with Rod Brindamore before the game. Game 4, obviously that's the way you want it to look, but is there more?
Well, you can always be better. I mean, there's every area of the game we could have been better, but I mean, I always focus on what we're giving up, and you know that was another. We've had a couple of these games this series actually pretty good. We're not giving up that much, and you're gonna have to make some saves. Freddie made a couple. One early was the save of the game. It was the first shift in, we're on 2-on-1. He gets just a tip on Verhaeghe.
Yeah,
and that's the save of the game.
Yep.
That's it. I don't think he had to make too much after that, but. To me, that was just crucial to just allow us to just breathe, and then getting that first one actually obviously helped. I mean, that just kind of allowed us to just, stay with it, and that's the key here.
It's hard to play it. People are talking about it like you play a perfect game. It's hard to play a perfect game, especially
Super
against
hard.
them.
Yeah, it is, and it's not that you have to play perfectly because they're not either. It's just it's close. It's there's very few chances. Both teams are checking for their chances, so they're tight. They're not giving you much. And then you look at even the goal. It was like a turnover that we finally created in neutral zone, and now you get a little space, and then you got to take advantage of it. That's where we've missed in this series, where we've finally get the breakaway or a 2-on-1 and we get nothing. And you look at their goals, they get the 2-on-1. It's they've scored on those. So we have to stick with that and understand that. And then when we get our chance, can we finish?
Are some of the guys passing up shots they should be taking?
There was a couple. I mean, Svesh had the one. You'd love to see that. There's
Right.
a 2-on-1 where he tries to throw it to Marty through people. Like, that's probably not happening, but I understand it. I mean, I was there. You also know if you make the pass, it's probably in the net.
Right.
And there's and you have to let your offensive guys play, but you'd like to see, a little more shot action.
Sebastian got the empty net goal, but was he good before that?
Yeah, he was good. I mean, that line was good for us. He can be better, right? Like, there's still another level he's got to find. I mean, it's hard. Like, him and Jarvie, they're little guys, and this is a big man out there throwing everybody around. So I give him credit that they're hanging in there. Stanker has been one of our better players, and he's little, and he's getting thrown around, and Blaker, too, comes right back after what he went through. Like, I think that says a lot about those guys. We just got to keep grinding.
I thought Blake's first period, other than the 2 penalties, which one of them might not have been a penalty, I thought he was good.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been good. And the penalty part was going to frustrate me forever. It's fine if you're going to call that, then I can give you 100 other ones that they did against us. Like, it's like that has to be the same, man. We got Fishy going back door on one. He gets hooked by Forsing right in the gloves, and it's all good. Like, frustrating for me because I know the guys are frustrated. Burns' penalties just falls on the guy. Right. That's going to be called with all the crap that is allowed. Like, it has to be more consistency. It frustrates me because it's not even talked about, and like, it's there all the time.
Slavin, I was just talking to Tim Gleason. I said, was he as good as I thought? He said he was probably better.
Yeah. We see it all the time. Talk about it now a lot, which is good. He's amazing player, and we had to play him a lot because it is what it is. We're hanging in there with what we have, and probably see more tonight.
Yeah, Alexander Nikishin obviously impressed you. Was he good on a curve, or was he just good?
A little bit of both. I think there's still a lot of areas, and like, people wouldn't understand where like he needs improvement, and it's off of understanding face-off coverage, who you have when they're switching and they're running plays, and we've already talked about it, but how he just like in a deer in the headlights, and it only takes that little, you miss a guy for a second, that's in your net. So there's a lot of that stuff that goes on within the game, but if you just look at the big picture, that it was impressive because of the way he hung in there.
All right, final thing. I know you guys' backs have been against the wall, but you almost feel like that for every game at this level.
Yeah.
So what's your message to them as they go out to the ice?
It's hard because, like I say, basically saying the same thing that I said the other night. Try to change it up a little, but you just always want to, by the end of the night, say I gave out everything I had. I don't want to be sitting there going, man, I wish I had done something differently. Leave that out of the equation and let the score, kind of take care of itself.
Rod Brindamore, head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, and we go to Game 5 tonight. And all I ask is a chance. I'm not demanding a win. I am not doing anything of that sort. I just ask that they play well and they not give Florida goals.
Yes. So
let me just go back to the, even if we go to Game 1, right? Now, let's leave this series out of it because I think Florida has done exactly what they have needed to do, even if Carolina has been too generous with scoring chances. If you go back to the previous series against Washington, where Carolina won Game 1, then they came back and won Game, they lost Game 2. I thought, for the most part, Washington didn't really generate scoring chances on their own. That's not to say that there isn't pressure that creates turnovers. Rod has said it several times. Both teams are doing it. And you're going to have turnovers. You're not going to play a perfect game. But I do feel as though the Hurricanes and their ability at times to mismanage the puck. Against most teams, you can get away with it sometimes. But man, against Florida, they just pounce on your mistakes. They thrive on it. If you watch enough baseball, you'll see a guy hit a home run, and it'll be a hanging curveball. Like, oh, man, he made a mistake. He left that pitch up. You know how many times during a game pitchers get away with mistakes? Way more often than they don't. Way more often than they don't. For me, the Hurricanes have made mistakes. They made mistakes in Game 4. It just didn't cost them. There were a couple of odd man chances in the first period that didn't cost Carolina. Either Freddie made a save, a defenseman got a stick in the way. It was just a different level of play from Carolina after the mistake. You're going to have to play that way. You're going to have to be able to recover and mitigate your own errors. But ultimately, if they play a solid game, they'll give themselves a chance to win. I expect that to be the case, and we'll see what happens. But remember, they don't have to win 3 in a row. Or going back to yesterday or Monday, they don't have to win 4 in a row. They only have to win 1 in a row. All they have to do, their whole focus is about tonight. It has nothing to do with anything else. Real quick, from the skate, there was no Chatfield, there was no Walker at the skate. I did see Jalen Chatfield, and I am more optimistic than I was before that we might see him at some point in this series. I have been optimistically saying much more likely we see him for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I did not see Walker. So it will be another Alexander Nikishin event as well as a Scott Morrow event, and the lineup will be the same as the one that took the ice on Monday, which means your top line with Aho, Jarvis, and Svechnikov, Stahl and Martinook with Stankoven, Kokoniemi along with Taylor Hall and Jackson Blake. Like, that line's got to do something tonight. We need to see something from that line. If nothing else, I don't need to see goals. I'd like it. I'd like to see good play out of that line. That line was outplayed by Jankowski, Robinson, and Carrier. But we need to see the top line on the score sheet tonight. And I'll take empty net goals.